Normally presented at this time will not be seen so that we may bring you this WWL-TV sports exclusive, the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Saints football is next. This is a WWL-TV sports special, the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Broadcast to you from the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans and sponsored by Benson Auto World, Popeyes, famous fried chicken and biscuits, Shoetown, Pride Airlines, Gulf States Toyota dealers, and Coors Beer. Now, let's join Larry Matson and Jim Henderson for the start of the game.
This sports special is a presentation of the New Orleans Saints Radio TV network. It's the new New Orleans Saints for all of Louisiana, hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Game 3 of the 1985 preseason. From the Superdome in New Orleans, this is the National Football League preseason. 50,000 fans on hand to welcome two homegrown quarterbacks. Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Matson, along with Jim Henderson. Tonight is a festive night because Bobby Hebert will make his debut for the New Orleans Saints, and Alan Risher could very well see action for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so local fans will see two local quarterbacks in action.
Sure, there are a lot of people from down the bayou awaiting Bobby Hebert's debut as a member of the New Orleans Saints. We're told he'll probably play about a quarter. We really don't know when. Alan Risher is hopeful of seeing action. Of course, he's got a real battle on his hands with Steve DeBerg and Jack Thompson to retain one of the quarterback spots on the Tampa Bay Bucs, especially if they get Steve Young.
They're two good friends, and two other good friends being reunited here tonight are Hugh Green and Ricky Jackson.
Won't find two better linebackers anywhere in the NFL. They were certainly great at Pittsburgh. They continue that tradition in the NFL. Hugh Green coming back after an auto accident last year, cost him the final 8 games of the regular season. He's all the way back, and the Bucs say that they're going to let him freelance a little bit more, and that's certainly bad news to any offense.
Ricky Jackson will have his work cut out for him, as will the defense of the Saints, trying to stop perhaps the most underrated back in the NFL, number 32, James Wilder.
He's fantastic, a former second-round pick out of Missouri, can catch the ball so well, carried it last year over 400 times. He was their ground attack, and they're hopeful of finding someone that can give them a little bit of depth at that position.
Lehman Bennett is in his first year of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he's no stranger to the NFC West and certainly the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints.
You know, it was Bum's first game in the NFL in regular season that he faced Lehman Bennett's Falcons to begin the 1981 season. Lost there. Lehman has always been tough on the Saints. I'm sure he'll do a fine job with the Bucs succeeding John McKay.
This game is a big game for a lot of fringe ball players, the backups, if you will. 15 cuts have to be made for the regular season. 10 have to be made by Tuesday.
And some of these guys are seeing their last action for this year probably in the NFL. The Buccaneers have said that they have not played their regulars quite as much as they would like to. They expect to take some of those regulars into the second half tonight for the first time in their 3 preseason games.
It should be exciting. Larry Matson along with Jim Henderson will be handling the exciting play-by-play action. So let's go down to the field for the opening kickoff. And Obed Ariri prepares to kick off for the Buccaneers. The Saints won the toss. They have elected to receive and will defend the north goal. The goal to our left. Tyrone Anthony and Eric Martin deep for the Saints. It appears it'll be Martin taking it in at the 7-yard line. To the 10, the 15, the 20, and out to the 22-yard line. He stumbled his way out near the 23. Eric Martin had an outstanding career as a kick return man, especially as a freshman when he was playing with the LSU Tigers. The offensive line, LaFari, Hilgenberg, Court, Ralph Williams starting tonight at right guard. He can play either side, and he's going to be very much a needed man for the Saints offense, and Stan Brock at right tackle. We'll talk more about that guard situation as we move along. Dave Wilson at quarterback, Campbell and Guys out in the backfield with Goodlow, Martin, the wide receivers, and Hobie Brenner, the tight end. 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line. Goodlow in motion, back to the right side, and the ball was never snapped. Everybody jumped. Steve Court kind of backed up with the ball, and penalty flags were dropped. We'll go down for the word now.
Offense, number 18, false start. 1st down.
And the quarterback, Dave Wilson, did back off the ball, didn't get the snap. So Fred Silva tells us about the penalty, and Silva will be the referee we'll be hearing from the rest of the night. Jimmy Rosser, Dave Perry, Don Orr, Norm Tragseth, some of the officials for tonight's broadcast and ball game. 1st and 15 now for the Saints at their own 18. Dropping back on play action pass. Wilson firing to the left sideline, incomplete. The intended receiver was Eric Martin.
Well, Eric looked to be open. I'm sure Dave is not at all pleased with this pass, and he's gotten off to a somewhat shaky start tonight. First the illegal procedure penalty, and then a 1st and 15 call, and doesn't connect with Eric Martin, who has been so impressive in preseason. Hokie Gaijan comes out now. It looks like the Saints may be employing 2 tight ends.
2nd down, 15 to go, and the ball at the 18-yard line, just underway, opening quarter of play. Eric Martin starting the game tonight, his 3rd start of preseason. He's wide to the right. Goodlow is wide to the left. Saints with 2 tight ends, dropping to throw. Wilson out of the backfield hits Campbell, and he dropped the ball. It'll be ruled an incomplete pass. Very nearly a lateral had it been behind Dave Wilson, but he threw it forward by about a yard or so, and Campbell just simply dropped the football. It'll be 3rd and 15 now from the 18-yard line. Cannon, Morgan, and Braggs are the defensive front lineup for the Buccaneers. The linebackers are Browner, Davis, Washington, and number 53, Hugh Green. Keep your eye on him. The defensive secondary will have Castile and Holt at corners. Sully and Reese are the safeties, but right now they have a nickel defense with 5 defensive backs in there. And the Saints have gone to a shotgun. 3rd and 15, shotgun. Wilson back inside the 10, being chased all the way back to the 2, into the end zone. He's rolling out, gets a good block. Now he's going to fire downfield, leaping effort, incomplete. Boy, Dave Wilson showed some mobility we have not seen at the quarterback position in several years on that play.
Well, that was Jim Rockford on the rush, number 11, a rookie out of Oklahoma. He was lined up as a nickelback, and nobody blocked him. The Saints had 3 wide receivers and also a back who went out quickly in a pattern, and there was nobody home to pick up Jim Rockford, and Dave Wilson nearly retreated into the end zone and took a safety.
Brian Hansen will be in a deep punt formation with 14:31 to play in this first quarter, and no score. Leon Bright deep for the Buccaneers. Bryant's punt is hit a beauty. Oh, it's a beautiful spiral all the way back to the 22. In fact, he backpedals to the 20. Bright with the ball to the 24, smothered under at the 25-yard line, and the fans loved it. A beautiful kick for number 10, the punter for the Saints, Brian Hansen.
And credit some good downfield coverage to Brett Maxey, a cornerback trying to make this team as a rookie free agent, and also Scott Pallure, who's such a mainstay of specialty teams. They went down there and strung that play out until the rest of the pursuit caught up with Leon Bright. Neon Leon, they used to call him when he was back at FSU. Steve DeBerg, the starter for the Bucs.
A 63-yard punt for Hansen and 4.4 on the hang time. Now DeBerg, the quarterback, has a slot left formation. That slot is Theo Bell, the U-back. He goes in motion. Handoff straight up the middle. Wilder, big hole, running room to the 30, to the 34, and near the 35-yard line.
Wilder's numbers last year just unbelievable. 407 rushing attempts. The only rushers that are currently on the Bucs roster are people like Armstrong, who had 10 carries last year, Carver, who had 11. He picked up 1,544 yards on the ground, 2,229 total. And that led the NFL last year in total yardage.
8 yards on that carry. The quarterback is DeBerg. Armstrong and Edger Armstrong and Wilder are the backs. Handoff again to Wilder. First down yardage straight ahead out to the 39-yard line and near the 40. So the Buccaneers on the ground with 2 carries straight ahead by James Wilder, 6'3", 220-pounder, and they get a first down at the 40. Clark, Elliott, and Wilkes are the front 3 down linemen for the Saints. The linebackers are Jackson, Glenn Red in place of Jim Kovacs, Dennis Winston, and Whitney Paul. We expect to see Kovacs later tonight. Waymer and Poe are the corners, and Bobby Johnson again getting a start at strong safety. Frank Whitelett is the free safety. They're holding out Russell Gary, who still has a slightly hamstring pull and would be held out tonight in all probability. Handoff goes to Wilder on 1st and 10 from the 40. Tries to make a cutback going outside to the left. He cut it up the middle. He got about 2 yards out to the 42-yard line. Russell Gary, number 20, was held out of last week's game and was not expected to see much action tonight. He is in there at the present time, though. Number 20, the strong safety.
What they were going to do is check that hamstring in the pregame workouts, and if Russell could get it loose, he would play, and apparently he has, because he's been penciled into the starting lineup and in there now for the Saints. They've missed him in the first 2 preseason games.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Tampa Bay ball at their own 42-yard line, no score. First quarter action. Again in motion goes Theo Bell, the U-back. One back off, and it's now out of the backfield. DeBerg will fire a strike complete to Theo Bell at the 45. He gets it up near midfield as he's pushed out of bounds near the 49-yard line. I said Theo Bell. It's Jerry Bell, number 82. Theo is 83. So 82, Jerry Bell in a U-back setup. The Saints call it the R-back. A lot of teams call it the H-back.
They get that terminology from the Rams. Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator of the Bucs, was the offensive coordinator out there when they went to the same one-back set and called that blocking back, who occasionally will catch passes, as Jerry Bell did, the U-back.
Now with 2 tight ends, 3rd down and a yard to go from the 49-yard line. Pitch out goes to Wilder, cuts it up the left side, gets just to the midfield stripe, and a penalty flag goes down. That is very close to first down yardage, but a flag went down as Wilder went down. Whitney Paul, the linebacker for the Saints, saying it's holding, and apparently it will be holding against Tampa Bay.
Offense, number 82.
That's your U-back, Jerry Bell, who
3rd down.
was trying to pinch in on the Saints defensive end and linebacker on that side and was caught holding. So the Buccaneers' early drive is stymied by that penalty, and they'll have a long yardage situation.
It was interesting, Jim, you mentioned on the pregame show that Tampa Bay is trying to get away from the one-back offense, yet that's mostly what we have seen tonight because of the U-back situation, the tight end being utilized in the backfield. It is 3rd down and 11 from the 39-yard line. Now they're going to go with 3 wide receivers. Freeman, Carter, and House would be the 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 11 from the 39-yard line. Moving right to left as we view it. To Berg, the quarterback. In motion, Carter dropping straight back to Berg. Big rush from Frank Warren. Airs it out, and it's a dying quail. Could be picked off. It is. Frank Watlet at the 39-yard line picks it off. Interception for the Saints. He's dropped right there immediately as he made the grab.
Big rush by Frank Warren. The Saints had a game on with their defensive lineman, and Frank Warren, rushing from his left defensive end position, got the pressure on DeBerg, hit his arm as he threw it, and the ball just flew into the air down around the 40-yard line of the Saints. Frank Watlet couldn't wait for it to come down because he knew he had himself an interception.
Frank Watlet, a free agent, signed in 1981 out of Kansas, was actually told to go home because he failed the physical. He says, no, I think I'm going to give it another try. Got another doctor's opinion, came back, and, well, it's history. He's the starting free safety for the Saints. 1st and 10 now. Goodlow in motion. Right to left. The ball at the 39-yard line. Dave Wilson quickly drops back. Screen pass, Earl Campbell. Campbell hit from behind, falls forward out to the 41-yard line. Only got a couple of yards on the carry on the really a screen pass that didn't quite develop fully. And John Cannon, the left defensive end, makes the tackle.
And for those who criticize the Saints' offensive game plan as being too conservative, they've thrown the ball on every down except for when Brian Hansen had to punt it away.
3 yards officially, so it's 2nd down and 7. That's an interesting note. 11 minutes to play in the first quarter and no score. Each team has had 1 possession, 1 turnover in the game. The Saints picking off a Steve DeBerg 3rd down pass. Now dropping to throw, but handing off deep to Earl Campbell, who was smothered under. Dave Wilson got it to Campbell in the backfield, but he was hit right away for a loss back at the 40-yard line.
Hit by Keith Browner, the 2nd-year man out of USC. You've heard that name before. Browner, he's one of 5 brothers who have made their mark in professional sports. And he's an excellent outside linebacker on that left side. In fact, they've got a bunch of them. Keith Browner, superb. Jeff Davis, Cecil Johnson, a longtime veteran, along with Chris Washington. Hugh Green, everyone knows about him on the right side. That is the strength of their defense, the linebacking core.
Shotgun formation for the Saints. A loss of a yard for Campbell. It's 3rd down and 8. The ball at the 41-yard line. Out of the shotgun. Wilson having to scramble around to the right. Looking downfield. Firing to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Tried to hit Hobie Brenner, but Eugene Goodlow was right there, and it looked like Eugene may have cut in front of Hobie, and at any rate, it's incomplete. It's unusual to see 2 receivers that closely together downfield on a long yardage pass. Brian Hansen will have to kick it away again for the Saints. Saints have yet to pick up a 1st down. Leon Bright once again will be deep for Tampa Bay. He'll stand at his own 10-yard line.
And don't expect him to fair catch it. In 4 years with the New York Giants, he only made 1 fair catch. So if it's at all possible, Bright will try to run it back.
Brian's last punt went 63 yards. He's hit another beauty, trying to go to the corner. It'll hit at the 5, kick, and roll into the end zone. It'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. So the touchback for Brian Hansen, who boomed 163. He booms this one into the end zone. 9:51 to play in the first quarter. Timeout for the score. Saints nothing, Bucs nothing. Well, Doc Kovac is in the lineup now for the Saints, the linebacker. who has been out of camp for quite some time. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for Tampa Bay. And Kovac, having been replaced by Glenn Red, who has done very well in the preseason, will now see his first action of 1985 here in the 3rd week of preseason games. But he knows his way around. In fact, he is in there with Glenn Red. Dennis Winston is out of the lineup in the middle linebacker spot. 3 wide receivers on the right side. 1 goes in motion, and that is Bell. Handoff goes straight ahead to Wilder. He moves the ball out to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6 as Dennis Dirt Winston goes back into the lineup now. And let's see who comes out. It'll be Kovac.
In for just 1 play into the sideline. Talking to John Paul Young, the Saints linebacker coach, on the sideline before the game, I asked him how close to top shape Kovac was, and he said he would be ready for the regular season. He thought he'd be in top shape then, but he's a bit far from it right now. That's provided he signs, of course. Steve DeBerg, 3,500 yards last year passing. Had 19 touchdowns, but 18 interceptions. 2nd down 6 from the 24. Handoff straight ahead, big hole. Wilder barrels through it across the 30, out to the 35-yard line. A 1st down for Wilder and the Buccaneers. 11 yards straight ahead. Tell you what, that guy can go outside and go inside, and he is very tough at either spot. He can make the cut and on the corner, or he can go straight ahead as he did right there. And they've been making a lot of yardage right up the middle between nose tackle Tony Elliott and left defensive end Bruce Clark. He's a great one, just a 2nd-round draft choice out of Missouri, but the entire NFL is learning very rapidly the accomplishments of James Wilder. Bell in motion again, 1st and 10 from the 35. DeBerg straight back, wants to throw it deep, goes to the right sideline for Jimmy Giles. It's broken up, incomplete. Very nearly intercepted by David Waymer, who was on the coverage there. Giles, the intended receiver. Russell Gary was in the vicinity as well, but give credit to Dave Waymer for breaking up a would-be completion. He was well covered, and the Saints had a pretty good pass rush out of Bruce Clark. Waymer with a very deep drop, helping out the strong safety in Russell Gary and knocking that ball away. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 now from the 35 of the Bucs. And Kevin House will go out wide to the left side. The H-back is just outside the tackle. And number 87, the wide receiver Gerald Carter, is also lined up on the left side. Pitch out Wilder running wide to the right. Tries to turn it in and gets cut down hard. Good driving tackle. Dave Waymer, the corner, coming up to really knock him down hard at the 37-yard line. Now, Waymer only weighs 187 pounds, if that much, after the heat at Ruston. I would imagine he's not much over 185 anyway. He really laid out Wilder, weighs 220. And so did Frank Watlett, who just checks in at 185. Yeah, that's a pretty good job of stopping that guy.
3rd down and 7 now. The ball at the 38-yard line. 3 wide receivers in for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Saints with a nickel defense. Bobby Johnson is in there. 3rd and 7 from 38. But a trap on the inside. Wilder to the 40, the 42, and that is all. Short of a 1st down. It'll bring up a kicking down as Frank Warren is excited. He does a little dance coming out of the big pile.
Now he's pleased that they finally stopped Wilder short of 1st down yardage. A bit of a fracas down in the field involving Whitney Paul, but he's coming to the sidelines under the urgence of Jumpy Geathers. Frank Garcia will come on to punt it away. They've got some interesting stories among their kickers. Garcia was cut by five teams before Tampa Bay finally picked him up. Obed Ariri was cut by 4. And deep for the Saints for the first time this year is number 42, Eric Martin. A low snap that bounced. Garcia gets an end-over-end kick away. Martin will take it at the 15, running wide left to the 20. Up to the 25, breaks it open at the 30. 35, 40. Gets by the punter at the 45, but he's pushed out of bounds finally across the way up near the 46-yard line by Frank Garcia, who held on and finally got him out of bounds. Didn't really make a tackle, but finally got him to roll out of bounds across the way. A good return for Eric Martin, the LSU rookie. First time he's done it in a Saints uniform. He has some acquaintance with it at LSU. He may also be returning kicks tonight, as we saw earlier. And finally, he was just pinned to the sideline and rolled out of bounds by Garcia. A 42-yard punt, a return of 31 yards by Eric Martin.
And a timeout here in the Louisiana Superdome. With 6:53 to play in the quarter, the score, Saints nothing, Bucs nothing. quarter, 6:53 to play in this first quarter. The Saints have the football 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line.
And they've had a lot of trouble moving it so far. Dave Wilson just 1 of 5, that for 3 yards. Saints total offense right now is 2 yards.
And a handoff on 1st down to Guyjon, who barrels his way across midfield down to the 46-yard line of Tampa Bay. Hugh Green on the stop, number 53, the outside linebacker. But Guyjon gets a good solid 8 yards and almost 9 on the 1st down carry.
And you know Hokie's got to be happy with this. You know, he had only carried the ball 5 times in the first 2 games of preseason. And he was wondering when his number was going to get called. Hadn't been called yet here tonight, but it was there. And Hokie, who gained 6 yards per carry last year, a good pickup there.
Of 8 yards, 2nd down and 2 with 6:19 to play from the 46. Straight ahead, big hole. Earl Campbell, the Tyler Rose, gets it inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line. This is the first penetration by either team in the game, and the Saints have it at the Buccaneer 35-yard line, 1st down and 10.
The Saints might do well to run straight ahead tonight rather than wide. They have some excellent outside linebackers in Keith Browner and Hugh Green, but they're banged up at nose tackle. Dave Logan, who's one of the best in the NFL, not in there tonight with a bruised knee, and they've mostly been using Carl Morgan there, number 67.
Saints with their first down of the game. 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 35. Guyjon in motion on the wham block. Handoff goes to Earl Campbell. No running room there. He got it down to the 34-yard line, and boy, he was smacked hard. Keith Browner, the first man to get to him, had help from free safety Beasley Reese. 1 yard on the carry. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
The Buccaneers are missing their starting strong safety, Mark Cotney, also a 10-year veteran, as is Beasley Reese. Cotney got hurt against the Falcons last week. They thought that he had just a pinched nerve in his neck, but it was later discovered that he had broken vertebrae, and he's out for the season, maybe over for his career as a 10-year veteran.
2nd and 9, ball at the 34-yard line, 5 minutes to play, first quarter, no score. Wide outs left and right. The quarterback is Dave Wilson. One back offense. Guyjon dropping straight back. Wilson wants to throw. Good protection. Lots of time. Pumps once. Now he's got to scramble for his life. Throws it to Guyjon. Leaping effort incomplete. Broken up by the linebacker Jeff Davis, number 58. The inside man, a 4-year veteran out of Clemson. But Dave Wilson showed some mobility there getting out of the pocket after it broke down. He had a lot of protection and then tried to go one-on-one with a fullback against the linebacker.
Saints fans wanted to see interference against Davis, who never saw the ball as he jumped in Guyjon's face, but he did deflect it with his hands. And as long as you hit the ball, it doesn't matter whether you've seen it or not. As far as an interference call goes, you've done your job.
3rd down and 9, nickel defense for the Buccaneers. Saints with Tyrone Young now in there, along with Eugene Goodlow on the right side as wideouts, and Eric Martin to the left as a wideout. One back behind Dave Wilson, and that is Guyjon. Dropping straight back Wilson on 3rd and 9. Steps up in the pocket, throwing to the end zone, and to the 10-yard line. A grab and out of bounds goes Hokie Guyjon. He was throwing it down toward the end zone, but it was Guyjon who made the catch at the 10. He goes out of bounds at the Tampa Bay 7, 1st and goal.
This time they just worked on a different linebacker. Wilson, again under a pretty good rush, stepped up in the pocket and looked downfield for Guyjon, who had beaten Chris Washington. And this time on nearly the same play, only the other side of the field, he comes down with it, rolls out of bounds. 1st and goal, Saints.
27 yards and a 1st down. 1st and goal, 7-yard line. Hokie was 1st in receptions last year on the ball club and led the entire NFL in average yards per carry. 4:40 to play. 1st and 10. Handoff. Campbell hit hard at the 7. Falls to the 6-yard line. Good driving tackle by Jeff Davis, the inside linebacker on the left side.
Davis is 6 feet and 230 out of Clemson, a 4th-year man. He bench presses 450 pounds. And the Bucs say that if they had a weightlifting contest on their team, he would probably win it. And that's saying something for a linebacker.
1-yard gain for Campbell. 2nd down goal at the 6-yard line. Eric Martin in the lineup, goes wide to the left. Saints with 2 tight ends, make it 1 tight end. Hobie Brenner on the right side. Goodlow is on the left. Eye backs. 2 receivers, both on the left side. Dropping straight back quickly. Wilson firing. End zone bobble. Caught. No, it's not a completion. Although Brenner held on to it, he was bobbling it as he went out of the end zone. No touchdown, no completion. Beasley Reese on the coverage. Brenner made the catch, but not within the goal line or the sideline.
Official right on the spot. Wilson, just a straight drop back, was looking for Brenner all the way. Reese had him well covered, may have just gotten a hand on the ball, and it's clear from the replay that Brenner did not have possession of the football as he crossed the sideline in the end zone.
Well, he got one foot in, I guess you could call it, with their catch, but not both of them. It was a good call by the official right on the sideline of the end zone. He was across the goal. The ball at the 6-yard line now, and a big play for the Saints. 3rd down and 6. He went out of the end zone on the sideline and did not hold on inbound.
So you got to watch out for Tyrone Young down here with his size.
3rd down goal from the 6-yard line. One back offense. One tied in on the left side. Wilson dropping to throw. Has time. Firing to the end zone. No, it goes incomplete. The leaping effort by Eugene Goodlow was not good. He tried to come down with it with one hand. He could not get the hand on the football well enough. He deflected it, but it goes incomplete. So Morton Anderson will be called on to try the 3-pointer. Morton has been 6 out of 7 in preseason, his longest of 48 yards. His only miss really was last week's 60-yard attempt.
This will be a field goal of about 23 yards. He has never missed inside 30 yards as a Saint.
Again, the ball will be placed just inside the 14-yard line, so it's a 23-yard attempt. Placement is down, kick is up, and it is good. So a 23-yard field goal opens the scoring here as the Saints open the scoring in the first period. 3:47 to play. Timeout. Score. Saints 3, Buccaneers nothing. Well, the Saints marched 48 yards in 9 plays for the Morton Anderson 23-yard field goal. The big play, of course, was Eric Martin's return of a punt for 31 yards that set up that 48-yard drive.
And don't you know, the Saints coaches love to see that, because that's an area of the team they're very concerned with. No longer do they have Jitter Fields. They no longer have Carl Roaches, and someone has to step into the void there unless they go back to Jeff Grove.
Phil Freeman and Leon Bright deep. A line drive kick that went over the head of the intended receiver, or I guess the return man, Phil Freeman, a rookie out of Arizona. He let it hit in the end zone. It skirted out, so no return on the kickoff for Morton Anderson. That was a low line drive that just stayed right there about 10 feet off the ground and went all the way into the backdrop of the end zone.
And he's telling Bum, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. I know it didn't hit it right, but the results are all that count. It's back to the 20 after the touchback as the Buccaneers will put it in play.
1st and 10, Tampa Bay at their own 20-yard line. 3:42 to play, first quarter. 3-0, Saints leading here in the first quarter of play. Wideouts left and right for Tampa Bay. One back offense again. And that's Wilder dropping to throw. DeBerg pumps once, fires again. Complete to Bell out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line is Jerry Bell, a 4-year man from Arizona State. Len Red on the coverage and on the tackle. This broadcast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this one without the consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited. 7 yards on the reception. 2nd down 3 for Tampa Bay. Kevin House goes wide to the left, wide to the right. Again is Gerald Carter. One back offense for the Bucs with Steve DeBerg at quarterback. Handoff Wilder straight ahead, spinning around. No running room at all. He was stopped cold. Tony Elliott, one man to get to him. Jim Wilkes was another. And Bruce Clark right in the middle there, really making the hard hit, the initial contact.
That's right. Bruce Clark pinching down from his left defensive end position. As we mentioned, the Bucs have had some success running right up the middle with Wilder early, and apparently the Saints are a bit more conscious of that. Bruce Clark pinching in to help make that play. And the Saints have come in now with their nickel, even though it's 3rd and fairly short yardage. 3rd down and 3. No gain on the last carry. 3rd and 3 from the 27-yard line. 2 minutes, 28 seconds remain in this first quarter. Saints leading at 3-0. DeBerg, the quarterback. Long count. Nobody offsides. He looked like he might be going for that. The pass, as he drops to throw, is complete to Carver across the 35-yard line up to the 37. And Gerald Carter looks like he's got the first down. Well, they've got some excellent wide receivers and a pretty good tight end in Jimmy Giles. Gerald Carter and Kevin House. This is Carter, number 87, who makes the reception. Last year he had 60 of them. He hooks up in front of Johnny Poe. That play covered 10 yards, and there's a good look at Gerald Carter. 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers as they've worked the ball up past their 36-yard line.
A 9th round draft choice. Carter now in his 6th year out of Texas A&M. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. And a play-action pass. DeBerg in trouble, ducks under the would-be tackle of Whitney Paul. Then he's decked by Paul. Good recovery by the outside linebacker of the Saints, who was ducked one time, but not the second time, and Paul gets a sack.
That's the first Saints sack of the evening. Excellent rush by Paul from the outside linebacking position. He beat Jerry Bell initially, had DeBerg, who went down on one hand, to scoot underneath him. Then Paul just got right back up and went after him again, and finally did get the sack with some help from Tony Elliott.
So the ball now inside the 32-yard line of Tampa Bay. It's second down and 15 yards to go, a loss of 5. The ball officially at the 32. New back is Bell. Wideouts again, left and right. Bell goes in motion. DeBerg hands off deeply to Wilder, trying to go outside. And a nice tackle in the open field for Dave Waymer. Waymer is really playing tough in that left corner spot tonight.
Now he forces the run very well. Fine open field tackle by Waymer on one of the best running backs in the NFL. Ricky Jackson quoted this week as saying he regards James Wilder as the toughest running back he faces. They ran to Ricky's side that time. Wilder went outside of him, but Dave Waymer, flying up from his cornerback spot, took him down in the open field.
The U-back Jerry Bell checks out of the lineup. The Buccaneers go with 3 wideouts on third down and 15 from the 32. This could be the last play of the first quarter. In motion goes Carter, dropping straight back to Berg, firing downfield, and the ball is deflected and goes incomplete. The coverage by Terry Hogue, he felt he should have caught the ball. The intended receiver was Jimmy Giles.
That was some superb coverage by Terry Hogue, and you could just see it all the way up here. He had that ball read perfectly, and he's unhappy that he didn't pick off the interception. That's what Terry brings so much to this secondary, and it's something that's needed. He is very aware of the ball. He plays the ball in the air beautifully.
Garcia, deep punt formation now for the Buccaneers. His last punt covered 42 yards, but it was returned by Eric Martin for 31. Now it's Tyrone Anthony deep for the Saints, number 22. Line drive kick off the side of his foot or off the toe. Bounces at the 35. They're going to let it roll inside the 30. The 25 gets an excellent Buccaneer roll inside the 20 and will be blown dead all the way down inside the 15-yard line. That ball didn't hit more than 20 yards off the foot of Garcia, but it rolled another 30. Well, we've got a break in the action, the end of the first quarter here in the Superdome. A 53-yard punt that rolled about 33 of that 53. A timeout with a score. The Saints 3 and the Buccaneers nothing. The ball first and 10 at the 14-yard line as we start the quarter. Jeff Groth in motion from left to right. Handoff, Earl Campbell goes inside. Not much room. He got it out to about the 18-yard line. So he gains about 4, maybe 5 yards as he goes straight ahead. And Keith Browner and Chris Washington on the tackle of Earl Campbell. The stats are very close in the first quarter. Very low-scoring game. This is a typical Buccaneers-Saints contest.
Yeah, they've played 3 games in preseason. Tampa Bay's won them all by scores of 14-3, 14-7, 20-17. So they have been low-scoring affairs.
Lindsey Scott is wide to the right. Groth is wide to the left. Handoff goes to Campbell behind Hilgenberg. Right side, got some room. Out to the 25 to the 26-yard line. Brock and Hilgenberg, and Ralph Williams is in there now, number 79. A good block from Williams to open up the hole and get the first down.
The Saints are missing Oubre, Edelman, and Clark, as you know, at guards. They're playing with Hilgenberg, 61, who helped lead that play around the right side, pulling from his left guard position. And they also went over right guard Ralph Williams, a second-year man out of Southern. We'll try to take a closer look at those guys and see how they fare as the game wears on.
8-yard pickup, first down and 10 at the 26-yard line. Early second quarter. Saints lead it 3-0. Wide out to the left, Lindsey Scott. Play action pass, Dave Wilson. Over the middle, got Groth wide open at the 30. As a blocker, Guyjon in front. 35 and out of bounds up to the 38-yard line. A crossing pattern for Groth, who picked up a blocker across the way with Guyjon upfield.
Guyjon went out into the left flat as a receiver. Groth crossing from right to left was hit beautifully by Wilson. There was a huge cavity in the middle of the Tampa Bay defense that Groth took advantage of as he ran in Hokie's direction. Guyjon turned receiver to blocker.
And Hugh Green fought off the block of Guyjon and was able to make the tackle.
Jeff Groth's first reception of preseason is a 13-yard gain.
And first and 10 Saints at the 39-yard line. Wing back on the right side is Groth. Eye backs, handoff Campbell straight ahead. Penalty flag is dropped, and Campbell was really smacked at the 40-yard line. A gain of 1, but a flag went down right at the line of scrimmage. And offsides, the preliminary indication against Tampa Bay.
That flag was a little late, but it appeared that their nose tackle, speaking of the Bucs, jumped.
Defense, offside. Middle of the line, 5 yards, first down.
He didn't pick it up, but Bob Nelson was the culprit, number 92. He's well, I guess a one-year veteran, you could say, out of the University of Miami. Not many first downs in the game. The Saints had 3 in the first quarter, and the Buccaneers just 2. And again, the total offense in that first quarter, 58 yards for the Saints, 50 for Tampa Bay. Right now, the Saints have it at the 44, first down and 5 with the penalty. Now they're checking off. You may have heard Wilson checking off quickly, going to Scott to put at the 50, and he's out of bounds in front of Bum Phillips and the Saints bench in Buccaneer territory at the 45-yard line. John Holt on the coverage. I think Dave Wilson felt blitz was coming, and he checked off and got a completion.
Well, he went to the right spot because Holt has been giving Scott a huge cushion, as we've been observing, and Scott has lined up to his side. Dave Wilson found that area and went to Lindsey Scott for an 11-yard pickup and a first down for the Saints now as they're into Tampa Bay territory at the 45.
Keep in mind, these two teams meet again in regular season play in week 3 of the NFL season right here in the Superdome. Now a handoff goes to the right side, and trying to go up the middle with it is Hokie Gaijon. First and 10 from the 45. He gets it to the Tampa Bay 41. Jeff Davis and Don Fielder making the tackle. Fielder trying to find a job at the left defensive end spot. He's listed as third team, so his work is cut out for him. He's had 1 year of experience out of Kentucky. A 4-yard gain. And it's second out and 6 now for the Saints at the 41-yard line of Tampa Bay. Lindsey Scott goes wide to the left. Jeff Groth wide to the right. 2 setbacks. Gaijon and Campbell behind quarterback Dave Wilson, who's gone all the way. Handoff. Gaijon bobbles it, gets it back again, goes straight ahead to the 40 and gets it down to the 38-yard line. He may have gotten more had it been a clean exchange.
And you know Hokie didn't want to give that one up. He very seldom fumbles the football, and yet he did last week against the Oilers, and it really hurt the Saints deep in Houston territory. He bobbled that one, but did manage to hang on and pick up yardage. It'll be third and about 3 to go now at the 38 of Tampa Bay, covered 3 yards.
Jeff Davis on the stop for the Buccaneers. It is now 3rd and 3, as Jim mentioned. A big play for the Saints at Tampa Bay's 38-yard line. 11:49 to play in this first half. Saints leading at 3-0. Tyrone Young on the left side. 2 wideouts on the right. Dropping straight back. Wilson, big rush. He gets it away. Diving effort goes incomplete. Jeff Groth, the intended man, at the 25-yard line. Coverage there by Ivory Sully. Also in on the play was free safety Beasley Reese. So you had the strong safety and the free safety combining on the coverage, and the Saints will be forced to kick it. Will they go with Brian Hansen? Yes, they will. No long field goal here tonight. They're going to go with Brian to try to angle this one out of bounds.
He'll be aiming for the left corner as he looks at the Tampa Bay end zone.
Leon Bright, a 5-year veteran, is deep, standing at the 10-yard line. 4th down and 3. Saints ball at the 38-yard line. Waiting for the snap. Brian Hansen gets it. The kick is away. High spiral, angling toward the end zone and way out of bounds, bouncing up almost into the seats. Now they'll line it up. They're going to line it up at the 6-yard line. A good kick for Brian Hansen. He gets it out of bounds at the Tampa Bay 6. A 32-yard punt, but more effective was the angle, which is out of bounds at the 6. A timeout. Second quarter, 11:30 to play. The score, Saints 3, Bucs nothing. 56 to play in the first half. The Saints remain ahead 3-0. They've got the ball at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10, because they were able to recover a fumble. Glenn Redd getting the fumble by Steve DeBerg, who missed the exchange at center.
Now, last week against the Falcons, they fumbled the opening snap, and Jack Thompson picked it up and ran 46 yards with it, but no such luck that time for DeBerg. At quarterback now, Richard Todd. 1st and 10 at the 44. Handoff straight ahead and nothing. Nothing at all. Now, they'll boo Todd for that call. Had it gained 60 yards, or 45, as the case may be in this situation, they would have cheered the running back, but instead they'll boo Todd if there's no gain on the play. Chris Lindstrom, the left end on the tackle, as Earl Campbell just couldn't get anywhere at all. It'll be no gain, and
In fact, almost a loss on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 officially.
And if the fans want to boo the play calling, they're focusing on the wrong person in the quarterback, because he's not calling the plays this year. The bench is. Richard got a lot of boos as he came into the game, and some of his own teammates were gesturing to the crowd to hold it down. Petey Perot's in there too now, Larry, at guard.
Scott wide right, Groth wide left, Todd to throw. Guyjon is out, so is Tyrone Anthony. The pass goes to Anthony, and it's complete at the 30-yard line. That brought some cheers, and the Saints get a 1st down as he gets out of bounds, stopping the clock. 5:07 to play in the half, inside the 30-yard line. Scott Brantley, the 6-year veteran from Florida, on the coverage.
Saints have had a lot of success tonight working their running backs against the linebackers of the Bucs. Beautifully thrown ball by Todd that time to Anthony, who was knocked out of bounds after a 15-yard pickup inside the 30. We'll mark it at the 29 of Tampa Bay.
Well, Tyrone Anthony is showing his versatility tonight. He can run the ball, as previously noted, but tonight he is catching the ball out of the backfield and returning punts on occasion. And kickoffs. High backs, 1st and 10, 29-yard line. Handoff inside. Guyjon breaks a tackle, gets it down to the 28-yard line, maybe the 27. He was hit hard by Jeff Davis. He broke that tackle, and then Chris Washington came up to help make the hit and bring him down.
Buccaneers have come with some blitzes tonight, and that time it was Ivory Sully, the strong safety, number 44, who's in there for Mark Cotney, who's injured, coming on the blitz, but Guyjon was able to sidestep that and pick up about 3.5 yards.
2nd down, and the ball at the 26-yard line. 4:35 to play, a 3-yard pickup. 2nd down and 7. High backs again for the Saints. And a play-action pass. Todd going to the end zone for Scott, and he ran out of bounds, and it'll be incomplete. He was out of bounds as he ran down the sideline trying to get to the ball, which he could not get to. Jeremiah Castile on the coverage, 3rd-year veteran out of Alabama.
Richard Todd loves to look for Lindsey Scott. We noted that last week. Play action to Campbell. Good protection, and Todd found the single coverage. Scott was well out of bounds. The ball was too. No chance of that being a successful reception.
Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Saints Football Network.
WWL-TV, Channel 4, New Orleans.
3rd down and 8 at the 27-yard line. 5 defensive backs for the Bucs. Saints with 3 wide receivers. Todd dropping straight back, looking, has time. Throwing a bullet across the middle, complete inside the 10. Down to the 8-yard line on a good comeback for the football as the Saints get a 1st down and goal with Lindsey Scott on the receiving end. Craig Curry, a 2-year man out of Texas, on the coverage.
Deep crossing pattern by Scott. Todd again well protected. The Buccaneers utilizing some of their younger people back there. An 18-yard reception for Scott, who has the ball inside the 10 now. This is a big preseason for Lindsey, the former #1 draft choice, who has never realized his potential.
1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Saints ball. Quarterback is Todd. Eye backs. Campbell the tailback. Guyjon the fullback. Groth in motion. Long count. Handoff out of the eye. It's Campbell straight ahead. He may have gotten to the 5. He didn't cross the 5. In fact, he just got inside the 6. So it's a gain of a couple of yards as Hugh Green and Ivory Sully combined to make the tackle on Earl Campbell, who has yet to break one free tonight. He's really been bottled up.
And it should be noted that Richard Todd, who really bit his tongue when asked if it was a detriment to his chances to play with the 2nd unit, is now in there primarily with the 1st, although Petey Perot is one of the few reserves in the offensive line at this moment, playing at guard.
Tied in on the left side on 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Pitch out goes to Campbell. He's to the 5. He tries to get it inside, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 4-yard line. He could not run it inside. He tried to take it in, but he had to go out of bounds, and the Saints fans are booing because Campbell didn't take it in.
Little tolerance, even though it's preseason. You could see Campbell hesitate. He didn't know himself whether he wanted to cut it up inside or take it to the sideline. He ended up really doing almost neither and just drifted out of bounds. The Saints don't have a rushing touchdown, or rather, that's an error. They do have a rushing touchdown, but not that time with Earl Campbell, who was forced out of bounds at about the 2-yard line, bringing up 3rd and goal.
A gain of 4, 3rd down and goal from the 2. 2:13 to play in the 1st half. Saints lead at 3-0. Eye backs. Handoff out of the eye. Campbell goes in. Touchdown, Saints. A penalty flag has been dropped at the line of scrimmage. Hold everything. Fred Silva will tell us all about it. Campbell dove it in, but it may not count.
Bucks are saying it's against the Saints, and you'd have to think that it is. Illegal procedure, New Orleans.
Nullifying the touchdown run of Earl Campbell, who took it in straight ahead from 2 yards out.
Offense, illegal formation.
Well, they may have had too many men lined up on the line or too many men in the backfield. At any rate, in illegal formation, you know they had 11 men out there, but they weren't lined up with 7 on the line and 4 in the backfield. So the ball is back now to the 7-yard line. And it is 3rd down and goal from the 7, with a 2-minute warning being reached here in the Superdome. 3rd and goal from the 7, 2 minutes to go in this first half as we've reached the 2-minute warning. And there's a break in the action, so we'll call the timeout here. And the Saints leading it in the first half with 2 minutes to go. Saints 3, Bucks nothing. Todd is the quarterback. 3rd and goal, 7-yard line. Tyrone Young left side. Jeff Groth right side. Young goes in motion to the right. One back, Guyjon dropping straight back. Todd over the middle. Down, Jeff Groth wide open right over the middle. Jeremiah Castile in the coverage, nowhere to be seen as Groth made the catch, and then Castile entered the picture.
Well, with a 2-minute warning, the Saints obviously had this play set up against a certain defense. It had Tyrone Young in motion from the left to the right. Groth was lined up as the inside receiver on the right, and that area was just completely uncovered thanks to Young's motion. Todd read it, threw it over the middle to Groth for an easy touchdown.
Now the extra point try with 1:56 to play by Morton Anderson is up, and it is good. 44 yards and 8 plays for the Saints, and there's a timeout with 1:56 to play, and the score now, the Saints 10 and the Buccaneers nothing. And the Saints lead at 10-0 as Morton Anderson prepares to kick off for the Saints. Deep for the Buccaneers, Freeman on the far side and Leon Bright on the near side. The kick is high. It'll be fielded by Phil Freeman at the 1-yard line. And Freeman, the rookie out of Arizona, an 8th-round draft choice, brings it out, breaks tackles at the 10, but he doesn't break him at the 12. Scott Pallure got a shoulder on him to slow him down. He was finally brought down though by Bobby Fowler. Brett Mackey was down there. And it appeared that Terry Hogue was in the area as well. A 12-yard return for Phil Freeman.
Well, you don't know with the 45-man roster now if there'll be a place for Scott Pallure, which you'd certainly like to think so. Not only is he a pretty good football player, he is one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet in or out of uniform, and we certainly wish him the best if he's not among that final 45. He's certainly making his mark tonight on special teams, as he always does.
Bobby Johnson got a hand on him too. Terry Hogue was there, but really was already down by the time Terry got there. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Buccaneers ball, handoff straight ahead, hit right away, dropped at the 19-yard line. Looked like Alvin Tolles, the #1 draft choice, the linebacker out of Tennessee, coming up quickly to make that hit. Brett Maxey, number 39, as well, was in the area. The Saints with a lot of rookies in there right now as the hurry-up offense for the Buccaneers is employed. 2nd and 9, dropping to throw to Bird, firing to the sideline, complete. Carter out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and that is enough for a Buccaneer first down. It stops the clock with 1:27 to go.
And with less than 2 minutes to go in the half, the Saints are substituting liberally on defense, giving youngsters like Brett Maxey. We see Rackley in there. Bobby Johnson's in there as well. Haynes, Tolles. Saints using a lot of reserves here late in the first half.
And they've sprinkled in a few veterans to give them some good feeling. Frank Watlett is in there. The linemen, Frank Warren, Jim Wilkes, Derlin Moore, Jumpy Geathers. They got 4 down linemen, and they're all veterans. 11 yards on the last play. 1st and 10. DeBerg dropping to throw. Firing, got it complete to Bell. Penalty flag is down. 35-40 out to the 43-yard line. 2 flags are down. Preliminary indication holding in the backfield against the Buccaneers. A flag downfield must have been pass interference. And we'll get the word officially from Fred Silva. James Haynes getting the tackle. Boy, that guy had a great game last week. Here's Fred Silva now, the referee, to tell us all about the flags.
Offensive pass interference. Holding, 79. First down, 10-yard penalty.
Ken Kaplan, a second-year man of New Hampshire, an offensive lineman for the Buccaneers, holding on Jim Wilkes, and he got the call. Tell you what, I like Haynes every time we see him play. And
yeah,
you look at the linebackers, you wonder, where can he make the ball club? He just plays well every time out. 1st and 20 now. Tampa Bay with 1:19 to play in the first half. Back at their own 15-yard line. 2 wideouts to the left, but a handoff goes straight ahead. Wilder, good open field tackle at the 18-yard line. Bobby Johnson, I'll make it Brett Maxey, 39, who came up and made the tackle in the open field. Now, Maxey's not very big. He came up to make the hit, the free agent out of Texas Southern, on a big back like James Wilder. So there's a timeout, 1:09 to play. The Saints want the ball back. They've called the timeout. Saints 10, Bucks nothing.
Rankin Smith, the owner of the Falcons, said that firing Lehman Bennett was the worst mistake he ever made. And folks around Atlanta will tell you he had a lot of them to choose from.
Lehman Bennett, his first year of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but a head coach in the NFC West for 6. He did an outstanding job with the Falcons, although he was relieved of his job in a playoff year when he went 5-4 in the strike-shortened year. 2nd down, 16. The ball at the 19. Dropping to throw to Berg. Firing, complete at the 30, out to the 32, perhaps even the 33-yard line as DeBerg gets his receiver downfield, and it is going to be just, well, it's just enough for a first down. They're going to bring the ball out to the, no, it isn't a first down. I saw one official say first down. It's 14 yards, but it's short by 2, so it's 3rd down and 2. I think he was saying timeout. He was pointing in the direction of the Saints, who called the timeout, and I thought he was signaling first down. Jerry Bell on the receiving end of that catch out to the 32-yard line.
And we should make mention of the guy who was in on the tackle, David Rackley. This is a guy you may hear from in years to come for the Saints. He's got a world of speed. We were in camp when they timed him one morning, and just in loose-fitting football shoes and on a somewhat wet field, he ran like a 4.35 The Saints scouts said they had never timed anyone faster. He's raw. He doesn't have an awful lot of playing experience, but he does have a world of speed. Number 47, David Rackley, 5'9", 172, a rookie out of Texas Southern. May try to use him as a kick returner sometime before preseason's over.
Not only did he run it once, he tried it again because they thought they had mistimed him. He ran it a second time at 4.35. Saints have 1 timeout remaining. And that should be a correction. They just have taken a timeout, so they have 1 timeout remaining. The Buccaneers have all 3 of theirs. 1:02 to play in this first half. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. In motion, Bell, the U-back. Play action, fake, a rollout. DeBerg hitting Bell, first down. Short of the 40-yard line, though, as he stacked up and pushed down in front of the Saints bench. And I'm not sure that he got out of bounds. They're going to call a timeout here. Tampa Bay will stop the clock with 51 seconds to go. And an 8-yard pickup on a naked reverse, really almost, a rollout by DeBerg on a good fake.
Very good fake. Fake to Wilder going around the left side, put it on his hip, got Jim Wilkes to bite inside, rolled outside of him and made the completion for the first down.
40-yard line, DeBerg the quarterback, 1 back behind him. Jumping on the defense was Wilkes. Penalty flags are down. Firing is DeBerg, broken up nicely by Rackley. It goes incomplete, but a flag went down, and Wilkes, I'm sure, will be called for encroachment or offsides. The intended receiver was Kevin House, and again it was Rackley, a rookie free agent who had a tryout with the USFL and did not make it, and then was tried out by San Diego of the NFL and was cut quickly as a wide receiver. Now he's a defensive back with the Saints after being a wideout for about a week.
Off. Defense 94. Offside.
All right, Fred Silva, the referee, and the word was on number 94, as we mentioned, Jim Wilkes. So it'll be 1st and 5, the ball at the 45-yard line with 46 seconds to play in this first half. Buccaneers with the ball, the Saints leading it 10-0, and the Bucs would like very much to get something on the board before the end of this half. Saints had called a couple of timeouts, not to help the Buccaneers maintain possession. They had hoped to stop Tampa Bay and have enough time to score again themselves. It may have backfired now as Tampa Bay maintains possession near midfield at the 45-yard line. 2 wideouts to the left as DeBerg drops straight back. Steps up and fires deep downfield. He's got Giles complete inside the 25, down to the 22-yard line. Frank Watlett combining with James Haynes to make the hit on Giles. A big first down. Clock continues to move down to the 39-second mark. It was stopped there as they moved the chains down, and the Buccaneers apparently will call a timeout. They've got a Well, fell out there with a water bottle. I thought they were going to hurry it up, but they decided to call the timeout. 32 yards on the reception by tight end Jimmy Giles. He has been a fine tight end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And DeBerg was able to isolate the tight end and the linebacker, James Haynes. That's a matchup that the tight end should win most of the time. He was well enough protected for him to come free over the middle, and a big pickup by the Bucs. You make a good point. The Saints calling timeouts as the end of the half approached, hoping to get their hands back on the ball. Suddenly the Bucs make a couple of first downs, and now they're the ones stopping the clock with 39 seconds remaining. That's the first time in the first half that the Bucs have reached Saints territory. Their stats were not bad, but they just couldn't seem to cross midfield. Now they have, and with 39 seconds remaining in the first half, they hope to have something to show for it on the scoreboard.
39 seconds remain. 39 seconds remain in this first half. The Buccaneers now with a big first down, threatening at the Saints' 23-yard line. Saints leading at 10-0.
Tampa Bay is 0-2 in preseason. The Saints 1-1. The Bucs have lost to the Steelers 42-27, gave up 6 touchdown passes in that game, and lost to the Falcons 23-17.
DeBerg brings his team out with a wide out to the left in Kevin House, a wide out to the right in Gerald Carter, one back offset to the left, and that is Wilder. In motion is Bell. Straight drop back to DeBerg. Firing to Bell, complete 15, 10, 5, 3-yard line. Good hard tackle by Brett Maxey and Terry Hogue, but it's first and goal now with 27-26 clock moving. The Buccaneers threatening first and goal. 21 seconds remain. They've got a timeout left. First and goal inside the 5. Pitch out Wilder. He's going to skirt it in easily as Jack Del Rio cut inside and missed him. And going outside for the touchdown is Wilder. What a drive here with 2 minutes to go by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Saints were coming with an all-out blitz. Everybody was coming for the Saints, Jack Del Rio included, from his right outside linebacking position, and James Wilder just saw that and said, "No thanks, I'll just take it outside," and waltz into the end zone for the touchdown that has cut the margin to 10-6 now with 13 seconds remaining. James Wilder has been the only Tampa Bay ball carrier in the first half. We took note before of the fact that it's a one-back offense, and that one back is James Wilder. He does it all.
Wilder scores after 87 yards in 8 plays, consuming only a minute 43. Now O'Reary will try the extra point. It is perfect. And with 13 seconds remaining in this first half, suddenly a 10-0 lead evaporates to a 10-7 lead for the Saints.
And we made mention also of the fact that late in the first half, all the people that the Saints had put in there as far as reserves and first and second year men in the secondary, as it looked like they were going to be able to run out the clock in the first half with the ball deep in Tampa Bay territory and about a minute and a half left in the half. But instead, Steve DeBerg, a very wily 9-year veteran out of San Jose State, picked that young secondary apart, and also some of the reserve linebackers, and drove the Bucs swiftly downfield for the touchdown.
You make a good point that the Saints have put in a lot of second line and maybe even perhaps third line players in the second period. The Buccaneers' pre-game plan was to go with their starters throughout the first half and very much of the third quarter. The Saints were not expected to go to their second or third line players in the first half, perhaps, which they have done, but they were expected to go much earlier than the Buccaneers, which they have done.
Not an excuse for the Saints, simply a point of fact.
And we expect to see Bobby Hebert in the second half, and that's what most of these fans have come to see.
I've come to see you pronounce this kicker's name.
Well, I was about to try it, but the kicker is Donald Igwebi. No, Igwekai. Oh, well, he's kicked it deep, and I hope it's his last kick of this game, as Tyrone Anthony will take it and kneel it down in the end zone. You take a shot at it.
Donald Igwebuike.
Well, you practiced it.
Out of Nigeria. Yeah, and a lot of announcers around the NFL are hoping that he's cut when they get down to the 50-man roster on Tuesday.
It's nothing personal. It's just his name. If it was Donald Jones, we'd love the guy, right?
He's an interesting story. He was a soccer player at Clemson who was talked into going out for football by O'Reary, who's a friend of his, and now he's competing with him for the same job. Each went to Clemson.
Saints ball with 13 seconds to go, and the quarterback is Todd. The handoff, Gajan takes it wide open, 25, 30, open at the 35, gets a block at the 40, 45, spins his way across midfield, and gets it to the 47-yard line of Tampa Bay. And a timeout is called with 3 seconds remaining in the first half. Gajan just exploded for a big run.
It's a good thing that he didn't run any farther, or the Saints would have run out of time in the first half. The Buccaneers looking for pass. The Saints counter with the Gajan run, and he was running wild up around midfield, a 33-yard pickup. Of course, you remember back last season during the regular season, the play that Gajan made that turned the game with the Bucs around, little swing pass out to the side, looked like he was going to step out of bounds, as it looked like the Saints were trying to conserve some clock. Instead, he took it upfield and then eventually went in for the winning touchdown.
At the 47-yard line, Saints ball with only 3 seconds remaining. They've taken their last time out. The Saints will try to go for it all here and hope for a penalty flag or a score. With 1st and 10 at the 47, the key factor is 3 seconds, and that's what's on the clock.
I'd have to think with Richard Todd's arm, he's probably going to be looking downfield for Tyrone Young in a jump ball situation if he can get it.
Tyrone at 6'6", maybe even closer to 6'7", is on the left side as Todd drops back looking to Young. He airs it out deep. Tyrone Young, it's out of bounds on the sideline and out of bounds, incomplete, and ends the first half with John Holt on the coverage. So we have reached the first halfway point of this game, the only halfway point of the ball game, I should say. And the Saints will have a lead of just 3 points as they take it to the locker room. Stay with us here on the Saints Network. And we're underway in the 3rd quarter of play. Kick is deep, 3 yards deep is Freeman. The rookie says, no, I'll sit it down right here. And the Buccaneers will have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Some stats for the Bucs in the first half. DeBerg 12 out of 15 for 131 yards. He was sacked just once. His long gain was 32 yards. Now you get a chance to look at some of them. We'll tell you some individual stats. Bell caught 6, Carter 2, and Giles 4 for the Bucs in the first half. James Wilder, 15 attempts for 57 yards. He was their sole ball carrier for the Saints. Earl Campbell rushed 9 times for 29 yards. Oki Gajan 5 times for 51, including a long gainer of 33. Dave Wilson 4 out of 12. Richard Todd 3 out of 5.
All right, it is 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And Leon Bryant and Calvin McGee now in the lineup for the Buccaneers as we start the 3rd quarter of action. In motion was McGee, the U-back. Dropping back is DeBerg. Throwing to the U-back, complete out to the 24-yard line. So now it is going to be a 2nd down and 6 yards to go for the Buccaneers as they get it out to the 24-yard line. Calvin McGee on the receiving end, one of 3 New Orleans natives on the Buccaneer roster. McGee went to Southern University, but first he had gone to Booker T. Washington High School right here in New Orleans.
They utilize their U-back a great deal more as a pass receiver than do many teams, thinking specifically of the Rams. They hardly ever throw to their U-back. And we've seen Bell catch a number in the first half, and now McGee here to open the second half.
Now it is Gene Branton in there as a U-back on 2nd down, and the handoff goes straight ahead, and no running room as Leon Bright was hit right away as he tried to go, and a penalty flag was dropped. Leon is a 5-year veteran out of Florida State who's been utilized mostly as a return man on kickoffs and punts. And here is now the call, face masking against the Saints. Fred Silva will make the announcement for all of us. In fact, right now.
Defense, face mask, 5 yards.
And we'll take a look and see who it was. Oh, Doc Kovacs wants to get a little surgery in.
A little facial reconstruction there.
14 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. We're just underway in period 3 in the 2nd half. The Saints lead at 10-7. The 29-yard line is where the ball has been placed. 2nd down and a yard to go.
The Bucs talked about finding someone to spell James Wilder. We'll see how badly their rushing attack drops off with Wilder now on the sidelines as the second half begins.
2nd down, short yardage. The handoff goes to Leon Bright. He kind of knifes his way through past Tony Elliott and gets the first down out to the 32-yard line. We haven't seen Adger Armstrong carry the ball, or Melvin Carver, who I remember Carver having some good games against the Saints in preseason. George Peoples, the big back out of Auburn. They've got a lot of guys, but Leon Bright looks like he's going to get the chance right now to could come up to be the number 2 man to Wilder and perhaps be a starter if they go to the 2-back offense. Well, the Buccaneers broke huddle, and now they've gone back into the huddle. Frank Warren is going out. Jumpy Geathers is coming to the sideline, kind of bent over a little bit. That left arm apparently giving him some trouble. His elbow or whatever. He's in some pain. He had to come out of the lineup. Frank Warren checked in for him. Jumpy gets a lot of little nicks and nagging injuries. He has that problem at training camp. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Buccaneers ball. We're just underway. First possession of the second half. Handoff right, big hole across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Glenn Red, no, make it Dennis Dirt Winston, 56, along with Frank Watlett coming up to make the tackle.
Didn't see much of Winston in the first half. I believe he started on defense but came out quickly, and Red went most of the way with Kovac. It's Dirt who's in there now along with Jim Kovac, and those were the 2 starting inside linebackers last year.
He was being worked on the sideline for a minor injury that apparently hampered his play in the first half. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. The ball at the 37-yard line. Tampa Bay's ball moving right to left. In motion goes McGee. DeBerg, play action fake, rolling to the right. On the run, finds McGee, complete at the 40, out of bounds at the 42, but it appears to be short of a first down. He stepped out of bounds just a foot short of the first down marker. Dirt Winston helping to push him out along the sideline with Dave Waymer.
Some more excellent faking by DeBerg on a designed rollout. There was the play action into the line, and then DeBerg rolled out to his right. Both Ricky Jackson and Bruce Clark had come inside, respecting that play action, and DeBerg rolled outside their containment.
3rd down and less than a yard to go, really about a foot. DeBerg has completed now 11 straight passes. Everybody in tight, 3 tight ends. Quarterback sneak. DeBerg looks like he's edged his way forward enough for the first down. Right down below us. We're right along in line with him at the 42-yard line. And DeBerg gets the first down. 9-year veteran out of San Jose State. Really emerged as a starting quarterback when he came to Tampa Bay.
The Bucs have been interesting to watch on their first series of each of the 2 preseason games. On their first play in their first preseason game against the Steelers, DeBerg threw a 65-yard touchdown pass. In their second game, Jack Thompson fumbled the snap from center, picked it up and ran 46 yards.
Officially the 43-yard line. 1st and 10. Dropping to throw. DeBerg firing incomplete over the middle. A diving effort by Jim Kovac. Almost came up with an interception. He just batted the ball down. Jimmy Giles, the intended receiver. Kovac, the veteran, was in the right place at the right time for that play.
Jim Kovac, who missed a lot of training camp, has looked good tonight. Needs a little work on his hands there, but a potential orthopedic surgeon, they should come around. Actually, he's played very well. Made a lot of good stops against the run and certainly defends that play well and gets the congratulations of his fellow linebackers who are happy to have him back.
Yeah, it was the linebackers who really talked him into staying at camp once he had decided to leave, coming in for a brief 12-hour period. Now it's 2nd and 10. The handoff goes to Bright. He's trapped behind the line for a loss. Ricky Jackson, Tony Elliott, a lot of black jerseys, and Jim Wilkes, the first man to make the penetration.
Tony Elliott really standing his ground. Usually he sees double-team blocks. This time he was only seeing one, and he penetrated along with Jim Wilkes, who's really enjoying a good preseason. He dropped the ball carrier for a 5-yard loss back to the Tampa Bay 38.
That brings up 3rd down and 15. 3rd and 15 from the 38-yard line. 10:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. Saints leading at 10-7.
Good to see Jumpy Geathers back in there now as the Saints go to the nickel.
And 3 wide receivers for the Buccaneers. Quarterback DeBerg. On a delayed count, gets Bruce Clark to jump off sides. He drops back to throw deep. He's got it complete at the 33-yard line. Tackle made by Bobby Johnson, but Kevin House came down with it, the 6-year veteran out of Southern Illinois. That was really a free play for the Buccaneers. Had it been intercepted or dropped, they would have taken the penalty, but here with a big completion, they'll take the play.
Yeah, DeBerg immediately looked downfield because he knew he was going to get the penalty anyway, and he looked long and found Kevin House. Saints were way off sides as Bruce Clark had jumped.
Refused.
That was just a free play for Tampa Bay. They got a first down inside the Saint 33-yard line, a 30-yard reception for Kevin House, who's been somewhat quiet in this game tonight, but won't be during the '85 season. He's a primary receiver.
He caught 76 for them last year, including 5 touchdowns. He was their leading receiver in preseason, but only 3 receptions for 80 yards.
Gene Brenton, Calvin McGee, Leon Bright all in there now for the Buccaneers. Brenton in motion to the right side. Deep handoff straight ahead. Leon Bright inside the 30 to the 25-yard line of the Saints. Big gaping hole straight ahead for the Buccaneer offensive line. Frank Watland and Russell Gary, the 2 safeties, having to combine to make the hit in the deep secondary. 7-yard pickup straight ahead.
So even though Leon Bright is in there now, he's doing a pretty good imitation of James Wilder, running the ball straight ahead. Jack Del Rio, Lindsey Scott looking on from the Saints sideline, along with Greg Harding.
2nd down, 3 yards to go at the Saint 25. Buccaneers knocking on the door now. They've got a drive going. One back offense. Bright gets the call inside the 25 down near the 23-yard line, and that should be enough for a first down. His forward progress, I think, carried him across the first down marker. And the Buccaneers have a threat going. They may not have made it. They haven't yet announced it as a first down. They're going to say 3rd down at the 23. I'll tell you what, that's close enough to measure. They're not going to, though. It's 3rd down, and I'd say only inches for the first down. The Saints are without the services of Brad Edelman, Louis Oubre, and Kelvin Clark, the 2 starting guards and the #1 backup tonight.
DeBerg kept it before in this situation on a sneak. We'll see what he does here.
3rd and inches. He keeps it on a sneak again, and Johnny Poe says no, but the referee is going to make the placement, and they may have to bring out the chains. Tampa Bay has converted 5 straight 3rd downs. This would make it 6 if they get it. They're going to bring the chains out, possibly. They're looking to the sideline. The ball near the 23-yard line, just inside it, and that's where they had to go. They're going to bring the chains out and measure. It's a big call. It's either going to be 4th down in inches or 1st down in 10. Tony Elliott is right in the way. The official asking him to move over, and it is a 1st down by the length of the football. Elliott, I think, was trying to be intimidating to the referee, sending over the ball. And Tony could make a great pro wrestler one day, couldn't he, with that intimidation factor and the size that he has?
I think he did wrestle, didn't he, at North Texas State for a while? If he didn't, he should have. We'll put it that way.
That's for sure. And should when his career in football is over. 8:43. The clock is moving. 3rd quarter action. 10-7 Saints. Bucks at the Saints 22. 1st and 10. Man in motion. Dropping to throw. DeBerg rolling. Will keep it. 20. 15. Slides down at the 10-yard line. And they're going to rule it just outside the 10 so they could actually get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. They're going to mark it down at the 11-yard line.
DeBerg is giving Ricky Jackson fits with his ability to tuck that ball under and roll out. Again, a nice bit of faking. Saw Clark and Jackson bite down inside, and DeBerg just kept it, rolled around the right end for a substantial pickup down to the 11-yard line. An 11-yard gain by Steve DeBerg. 1st down and 10 at the 11-yard line. Tampa Bay moving the football with 7:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. 10-7 Saints. Carter to the left, pitch out Bright, going left, cuts it inside, gets it to the 14-yard line. Russell Gary came up quickly to turn and force the play, and Jim Wilkes finished it off. That's one of the things Russell Gary does best as a strong safety, is stretch out that run that comes wide down near the goal line. Remember him doing it so many times to Earl Campbell early in his career when Earl was an opponent rather than a teammate. Russell doing the same there to drop the ball carrier for a loss.
3-yard loss.
2nd down now, and they'll call it 14.
The ball at the 14-yard line with 7:08 to play. They can get a 1st down at the 1-yard line. Keep that in mind without scoring a touchdown. Tampa Bay with the ball and threatening. Kevin House is in the lineup to the left. Motion on the line. Defense may have it offsides. DeBerg throwing to the end zone. Caught and touchdown. With a penalty flag down, Gerald Carter went up and grabbed it for the score against Whitney Paul. No, Whitney Paul was on the rush and put pressure on the quarterback, DeBerg. But the catch was made in the end zone. It is a touchdown. The penalty against the Saints has been declined.
Carter ran a fake post route and then to the flag. DeBerg, who had probably already anticipated the penalty, threw it into the end zone. And Gerald Carter made a nice catch, even though fairly well covered by Dave Waymer. 14-yard touchdown reception. I don't believe the Saints have allowed a rushing touchdown against them in preseason. They've been beaten for 6 through the air solely.
Now the extra point try, and this kick is up by the PAT man, the Igwigbe, and I can't even pronounce his name correctly, but it's an 80-yard drive in 14 plays, and it's a new ball game, a timeout with 6:50 to play in the third quarter, and the score, the Bucks 14 and the Saints 10. Navratilova and Benlikova. It took years for me to get those down. Now Weebwee comes in or whatever and tries to foul me up in one ball game. A career could be on the line here in the broadcast booth.
Dave Wilson is showering in the Saints locker room, probably getting his shoulder ice down. He certainly will not return. Richard Todd with his helmet on. Bobby Hebert with his off along the sideline. We'd have to think it'll be Todd here in the third quarter.
And it's going to be Eric Martin at the 8-yard line. He's out to the 10, 15, 20, open at the 25, 30, 35 sideline, 40, 45, 50. He may go all the way. 30, 20. It's a foot race to the 10, 5, touchdown! But they may rule it out of bounds near midfield. We'll wait to see. There is a official standing at the 43-yard line, but Eric Martin has taken it coast to coast. Tyrone Anthony, number 22, with a big block. They spring him loose, but it will be called back near midfield. Back to the 48-yard line of the Saints, and Richard Todd trots in at quarterback.
That was a short kickoff by O'Reary, and that's one of the things that they really want to work on in preseason. Eric Martin took it at about his own 8-yard line, brought it all the way back, the fans thought, but it appeared that he stepped out of bounds right in front of the Saints bench. Tyrone Anthony was really knocked into him, and he was out of bounds for 2 or 3 steps. That's another good call, but still an excellent return by Eric Martin, who seems to have found a home doing that.
Saints with an unusual lineup. Now they put Tice up on the line of scrimmage. 2 tight ends. In motion is Brenner, who is now an R-back in the Saints offensive arsenal. A pitch back to Earl Campbell. Ball popped loose as he was smacked in front of the Saints bench. The ball went out of bounds, although it was picked up by Beasley Reese. And now they're saying it was not out of bounds. They're saying that the Buccaneers did indeed recover in front of Bum Phillips and the Saints. Across midfield went Campbell. He was popped hard. The ball came loose, hit the turf. I thought it had rolled to the out-of-bounds sideline, but it did not. It'll be the Bucks ball when we return. A timeout with 6:26 to play in this third quarter. And the score, Buccaneers 14, Saints 10.
I'm Tom Benson. The whole world knows New Orleans is a winner at many things. Tourists from everywhere visit our city and enjoy its character and history. We consistently take the blue ribbon for fine foods in our famous restaurants. Our jazz music is applauded around the world. Yes, New Orleans is a great international city with a reputation for its heritage and most of all our people. We work in the win in New Orleans.
This message presented by the Benson Automotive World.
Thomas Jefferson.
6 to play, third quarter. Handoff left side. Leon Bright gets it into Saints territory to the Saints 48-yard line. So he goes from 148 to the other 48 across the midfield stripe.
Saints fans getting into the game now, chanting defense. It has been the Buccaneers who have scored the last 2 times points have gone up on the board. Coming back from a 10-0 deficit late in the first half to make it 10-7. And then a long 80-yard march engineered by Steve DeBerg, resulting in a touchdown pass to Carter to give them the lead for the first time, 14-10.
Phil Freeman wide to the left, another wide out, wide to the right. Jack Thompson, the quarterback. Play action pass. He's only been 3 out of 13 in preseason. Breaks a tackle as he's scrambling, and he loses, well, he may have gained some yardage. He got it across the midfield stripe back up to the original line and may have gained a yard up to the 47-yard line of the Saints. Whitney Paul put the pressure on him and was able to corral him at the 47-yard line.
Whitney has shown a good rush. Again, DeBerg faking play action. Fighting off the block of Calvin McGee was Whitney Paul to put initial pressure on DeBerg, and then, like we saw in the first half, getting right back into it and dropping him.
Jack Thompson in a trade with Cincinnati, coming over to the Tampa Bay Bucks. He had been a backup to Kenny Anderson for so long. He had hoped to be a starter here, but they got DeBerg. Now it's 3rd down and 5. Thompson wants to throw. Firing, leaping effort goes incomplete. Dave Waymer may have gotten a hand on the ball, and then it was almost picked off by Frank Watlett. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the New Orleans Saints Football Network.
Surprised to see Thompson in there, but in there he was.
All right, Saints football now with Garcia, or about to be Saints football. Garcia will be punting. Eric Martin is deep for the Saints, the rookie out of LSU. Low snap, bounce to Garcia, picks it up, hits it end over end. They're going to let it hit at the, well, out of bounds, actually inside the 15-yard line. They're going to line it up, coming up to the 13, 14, 15. Actually, they line it up at the 16-yard line, where it's the Saints ball. And we've got a break in the action. A timeout with 4:51 to play in the 3rd quarter. And the score, Bucks 14, Saints 10. At the 16-yard line, Saints ball moving left to right. They've just gotten the ball as a result of a punt out of bounds. 1st and 10. Dropping a throw. Todd, lots of time. To the sideline, leaping effort by Hobie Brenner goes incomplete. On the near sideline, just down from the Saints bench. Along the sideline, behind the Saints bench, Bobby Hebert and Guido Merkins are tossing the ball around very loosely, not really warming up, just loosening up at the moment.
Todd had a lot of time to look over all his receivers, could find no one open. Eventually went to Brenner, but he was well covered along the sideline.
2nd down and 10 again at the 16-yard line. Saints ball. Tyrone Young wide to the right. Tice is lined up in the backfield, so is Brenner. One will have to move up. And, well, they're actually going to stay there because they got the wide receivers on the line. Dropping a throw, Todd. Firing complete on the sideline. Did he stay in bounds? Tyrone Young went up, and the official says no, and Tyrone throws the ball down in disgust.
Tyrone has not made a reception in preseason.
He has looked good in training camp during the practices in Ruston at Louisiana Tech, but he's yet to make a grab in fair territory during the preseason games.
And he was open along the sideline. It was just a matter of could he keep his feet in bounds, and it was ruled that he did not.
I wonder how important some of the games are. I think practices are more important than games. Kelly Powell looked good in Denver, got cut. Scott Napier looked good against New England, got cut. But the practices are probably as more important, if anything. Todd in the shotgun, 3rd and 10 from the 16. Firing, and a catch this time at the 33, up to the 35-yard line, and that is a 1st down for the Saints up to the 35-yard line. Tyrone Young going up and coming down with the ball and getting a few extra yards. Again, it was Ivory Sully on the coverage and Jeff Davis on the tackle. The linebacker coming up to make the hit after Sully missed on the coverage.
Credit the Saints offensive line and backs for doing a good job in picking up the stunts and the blitz. And Richard Todd had the time to look deep and was able to connect with Tyrone Young for 20 yards.
1st down, Saints ball, 36-yard line. 3:58 to play, 3rd quarter. Slot left formation, I backs. Deep handoff out of the eye. It looks like Earl Campbell out to the 39-yard line. Earl, 30 years old, an 8-year veteran out of Texas. 5'11", 233. But Tyler Rose, who has yet to break a big one tonight, he's had a rough going. 3 yards on that carry, 2nd down and 7. Earl is the kind of back, and he'll tell you this, that he needs to carry the ball 20 to 25 times a game because he'll plod along the 2 and 3 and 4 yard gains, and suddenly he'll erupt for that 30 or 40 yard burst if he gets enough carries. But all running backs will tell you that. I remember George Rogers saying the same thing. 2nd down and 7. Dropping the throw. Todd has lots of time. Now he's dancing around. He hits Tice for a completion out to the 45-yard line. The fans are almost cheering and telling Todd where to throw the ball. They saw the open receiver. But it's a lot easier up here than it is down there. Jeff Davis was the fella giving some pressure, and he was able to get the ball away. Todd, after a lot of time, finally found John Tice, and it was Davis who made the tackle.
Darren Gilbert doing a good job in there. He's playing at right tackle for Stan Brock, and Todd has been well protected so far in this possession. That was a 7-yard reception by Tice, the tight end.
You know what Earl Campbell calls Darren Gilbert? He's got a nickname for him.
What?
The bodyguard. 1st and 10, 46-yard line. Saints ball. 2:27, third quarter. Todd drops, ball batted away, incomplete. At the line of scrimmage, looked like Carl Morgan, the nose tackle, may have been the one to get that meat hook up there and slap it down.
Hugh Green was also coming and had penetrated from his right outside linebacking position. They intend to turn Hugh loose more often, and it was Morgan, the nose tackle, who got the big call up, and Green was in there as well.
2nd down, 10 yards to go, the ball at the 46-yard line. Eugene Goodlow in the lineup now, goes wide to the left. Tyrone Young wide right. Gaijon, the only back behind quarterback Richard Todd. Gaijon gets the call. Big hole, 50, 45, down to the 43-yard line. And that's enough for a Saints first down. Scott Brantley was able to grab his jersey and bring him down. The 6-year veteran out of Florida, who a few years ago thought his career was over.
Hokie, who had only carried 5 times in preseason up until tonight, seeing his most extensive work of preseason, and he's responded well. An 11-yard pickup by Hokie, who carried at 6 yards per pop last year to lead the NFL.
Give credit to Ralph Williams, the Southern University graduate, number 79, with a good block to help Gaijon get the first down. Gaijon now 62 yards on 6 carries.
Williams may be playing himself onto this team. He's performed well tonight.
On 1st and 10, dropping to throw, Todd to the sideline behind him and incomplete. The intended receiver was Tyrone Young. He tried to reach back, got a hand on it, but couldn't cradle it in at the 30-yard line. So it goes incomplete. Jeremiah Castillo on the coverage. And Gaijon has averaged 10 yards a carry tonight. You've got to give credit to the offensive line when a fullback can gain that many yards on that many carries. And certainly Ralph Williams has played well. He can play either tackle or either guard, and that's exactly what Kelvin Clark did so much of last year.
Good sign, too, to see Dave Lafari playing so much in this preseason game. I think he's gone all the way at left tackle.
2nd and 10, ball at the 43, split backfield, Tyrone Anthony, Hokie Gaijon. Dropping to throw, Todd. They're throwing a lot tonight. Throws a wobbly ball out to the left, and it goes incomplete. It should have been caught back at about the 34-yard line. Goodlow came back for the ball. The ball wasn't on target, but Eugene got to it and really should have made the catch, I believe.
Yeah, he was stumbling as he came out of his break and came back toward the ball, and was really falling as he tried to make the catch. He's got some of the surest hands on the team, and he doesn't drop that kind too often.
And he was stumbling, so he was off balance, and it would have been difficult. Jim Rockford now checks in as a nickel back for the Buccaneers on 3rd and 10 from the 43. And Todd will go to the T formation with 2 wide outs to the left and 1 to the right. No shotgun here for Richard Todd. Gaijon is offset to the right in the backfield. Dropping to throw, Todd. He's having to scramble. Hugh Green is after him. He's going to run it to the 40, 35, dives out of bounds for a first down at the Buccaneer 32.
It's going to be awfully close. Let's see where they spot it. It looked like he was right at that first down marker as he made a diving attempt to get past it. And it will be a first down by about half a yard.
Carl Morgan, the nose tackle, chased him down to the sideline and made the effort to make the tackle, but not until Todd had made the big dive for the first down. A 12-yard carry for Richard Todd.
Richard was looking to his left, but Hugh Green had come from that direction on the blitz, chased him out of the pocket. Richard ran it right for the first down.
Darren Gilbert, as Jim mentioned, is at the right offensive tackle spot. The rookie 2nd-round draft choice. 1st and 10, 31-yard line. Dropping to throw, Todd. Penalty flags everywhere. He throws it airborne, incomplete along the near sideline inside the 10-yard line, but flags are dropped everywhere. I'd like to mention that Rag Sherman's Nord baseball team that went on up to Johnstown, Pennsylvania to compete in the 21-year-old tournament up there, and a situation where they almost won the championship again. Actually, I think it's the 19-year-old tournament. At any rate, they went up there and they did very well. I was told by Lenny Van Gelder, one of the guys there to cover the team, that they listened to the Saints broadcast last Saturday night in Johnstown via WWL radio. And of course, I'd like to welcome anyone around the Saints network listening tonight, especially our friends in northern Louisiana that we made during the training camp period just concluded in Ruston. You know, Liz, who played at the piano bar in Pat O'Brien's for something like 12 years, works up there at the TN. She is one of the big Saints fans.
Offense, ball start, left guard, left tackle.
Left guard, left tackle, that's Dave Lafari, and David Carter, who's in there now. Difficult to see the movement on the replay, but those are the people who are in there. David Carter seeing his first action of the night at left guard. Petey Perot has been there, and Joel Hilgenberg started in that spot.
A minute 17 remaining, third quarter. First and 15, Saints at the Buccaneer 36. Bucks lead it 14-10. Todd did not start the game, but he's in there now. Play action pass. Faking to Campbell, gives him a good block. Todd scrambling. He's in trouble. He's sacked at the 41. They may mark it at the 40. But Earl Campbell gave him a good block to get him free, at least on the scramble. And then he was chased down. Bob Nelson, out of Miami University, the nose tackle, who's backing up Carl Morgan tonight. Morgan normally a backup to David Logan, but Logan is injured and didn't make the trip. Or if he did, he's not in the lineup. It won't be. 4-yard loss, and that'll be credited as a sack, I'm sure.
That's the first sack of the night for Tampa Bay. Whitney Paul had one in the first quarter for the Saints.
So with 48 seconds remaining, second down, 19, third quarter action. The ball at the Tampa Bay 40. Todd dropping back. Rolling to his right, trying to get around the linebacker, Irvin Randall. Fires a complete, or is it at the 30-yard line? Yes, they'll rule it down at the 30, but a flag was dropped in the offensive backfield. That's not a good sign.
Darren Gilbert might have just picked up his first holding call as a member of the NFL. Irvin Randall, their third-round draft choice, who was very impressive last week, coming on the blitz. Richard rolled out around him, but it appeared that Gilbert had his hands on him as he did so. We'll await the call of the official.
Offense, number 77. Holding. Repeat the down.
Well, officiating from the press box is a difficult endeavor, but Jim Henderson has picked that one up right. The ball now placed on the Saints side of the 50 at the 49. Irvin Randall blocked a punt last week.
Yes, he did. It was run back for a touchdown. You know, in 10 years of their existence, Tampa Bay has never run back a kickoff return, never run back a punt for a touchdown, nor have they ever blocked a punt.
Second down, 29 yards to go for a first down. Last play of the third quarter. Shotgun formation. Todd dropping back. Under a big blitz, he is sacked. Todd is sacked all the way back inside the 40-yard line. Carl Morgan and Byron Braggs. No time at all for Todd in his defense. He took the snap and was buried in the shotgun. No sacks allowed in the first half, and quickly, within a minute or so, the Buccaneers got 2 sacks here in the final waning seconds of the third quarter. A 10-yard loss on that one. So with the sack, there's a break in the action. The end of 3 quarters of play. A timeout in the Dome with the score: Bucks 14, Saints 10. The Saints failed to get a first down on a couple of long attempts and had to punt the ball away. The Buccaneers had an uneventful possession, had to kick it away, and now the Saints have it first and 10 at the 31, and the anticipated moment is here.
Bobby Hebert in the game for the Saints. You look at the offensive line in front of him. Only Stan Brock is a regular up there, but here is the Cajun Cannon, ready to go at his own 31.
First and 10, 11:38 to play. Game 3 of the preseason, 4th period of the game. Hebert drops to throw. Out of the backfield, he hits Tyron Anthony. 30, 35, 40, out to the 43-yard line, and a first down for the Saints. Very safe pass and a good one to get the nervous jitters out of the way as he completes his first throw. Bobby Hebert to Tyron Anthony.
Yeah, you're right about that. He was looking on the little swing pass to Anthony all along. Credit a good block to Stan Brock. A superb block on number 57 for the Bucks. Let's check out who that was. Keith Browner, the linebacker on that side, was really leveled by Brock, and the Saints and Bobby Hebert have a first down.
A 12-yard pickup. Eye backs. 2 wideouts on the left side for the Saints. First and 10, 43. Growth in motion back to the right side. And a handoff straight up the middle and almost a missed exchange. And not much running room, maybe a couple of yards. Tim Wilson, the fullback, got the handoff, and he's kind of looking back at Bobby like, what's happening here?
Yeah, you're going to see the butterflies will be there for a while. Hebert bumped into Wilson, actually threw him out of the hole he intended to run toward as the handoff was made. Bobby was so jittery on the sidelines getting ready to go in. We saw him fumbling snaps from Joel Hilgenberg just practicing that. So obviously this young man feels a great deal of pressure.
Bobby's having trouble reading the play from the sideline. The Saints are using hand signals, and he hasn't worked with those hand signals much, and this one may go down to the wire. You got 5 seconds to go to get the snap away. Second down, 9 yards to go. Tyrone Anthony on the pitch out, running wide left, gets it up to the 45-yard line. Only a gain of maybe a yard on that one, as Chris Lindstrom came in to make the tackle. Tim Wilson on the block, but Anthony couldn't get outside, and it brings up third down now, and 8 yards to go from the 45. Bobby with a little trouble getting that signal from the sideline. Now they're sending in Tyrone Young with a play from the sideline because of that mix-up on the previous play, or at least a delay in reading the signal. It is third down and 8, the ball at the 45-yard line. 9:35 to play in the football game. Buccaneers 14, Saints 10, nickel defense. 2 wideouts way out to the right in Groth and Scott. Hebert drops the throw. He's going to throw over the middle, complete to Lindsey Scott to the 45 to the 43-yard line, and a Saints first down, and the fans love it. Many are on their feet cheering. Jeremiah Castile on the tackle. Jim Rockford on some pressure.
Stan Brock picked up 2 blitzing Buccaneers on this play to keep Bobby Hebert upright. He knocked 2 people away from him, allowing him to complete the pass to Lindsey Scott over the middle for a 12-yard pickup.
And that's the difference in having a veteran in there on the offensive line as opposed to having a rookie who might make the fatal mistake and causing the sack. First and 10, 43-yard line of Tampa Bay. Saints down by 4 and moving with Hebert. Pitch out right side. Anthony makes a cut to the 40, to the 39, to the 38-yard line. Tyrone goes straight ahead when he runs the football. Craig Curry, a 2-year man out of Texas, playing the free safety spot, finally brought him down after a 5-yard gain at 2nd and 5.
The quick feet of Tyrone Anthony. The first thing that you noticed about this young man when he was a rookie last year, he can make people miss, and he can make yardage on his own. The Buccaneers were showing blitz. Saints came with the pitch out, and they'll have it up now 2nd and about 6.
38-yard line, 2nd down 5 officially. 8 minutes to go, 14-10 the score. Handoff, Tim Wilson dodging, darting, knifing his way inside the 35 to near the 34-yard line of Tampa Bay, and about a yard and a half short of a first down.
We saw this happen during training camp, that Guido Merkins would often come in with Bobby Hebert out there. Guido, I think, is actually reading the signs for Bobby here and passing them along. And it's exactly what he's doing. Before Merkins leaves the field, he relays what he's seen along the sideline. Of course, Merkins, the former 3rd-string quarterback, now the 4th-string quarterback, giving the sign to Hebert, the rookie, who's only been with the Saints 2 weeks.
Third down, 1 yard to go. In the backfield is Larry Hardy. He goes in motion. Tim Wilson, the up back. Tyrone Anthony, the deep back. Gets the call, gets a block from Wilson. And Tyrone has a first down inside the Buccaneer 30, down to the 28-yard line. Chris Washington, Jeff Davis, and Scott Brantley, the linebackers, combining to make the tackle, but not until T.A. has the first down.
Tim Wilson can still clear a path for you. He's lost a step as a ball carrier, but he's still an excellent lead blocker. He gave Tyrone Anthony a fine block there that allowed him to pick up the first down.
First and 10, ball at the Buccaneer 29. 6:40 to play in the game. I backs. Guido Merkins to the left. Lindsey Scott to the right. Tied in left side. Miss snap. Ball fumble. Recovered by Tampa Bay. The miss exchange from the center and the quarterback. Bob Nelson recovers the fumble. The quarterback, Bobby Hebert, simply missed the exchange from center. Steve Court, the starting center, was the man snapping the ball. And that's just a training camp mistake here as Bobby Hebert's drive goes dead, but he gets a round of applause anyway for some excitement. Bob Nelson on the recovery. Fans liking what they saw in just a brief encounter. That's the second fumble that the Saints have lost today. Dropping to throw, Jack Thompson. Incomplete, batted down by Frank Warren. Warren almost intercepted it, and had he done so, he would have had 20 yards of AstroTurf to clear with no one in his way.
Well, we saw Bruce Clark intercept the pass against New England early in that game from the same left defensive end position and take it in for a touchdown. Frank Warren, who has played so well in preseason, we've remarked about that repeatedly, nearly had his chance there.
Second down, 10 at the 29-yard line. A word from the bench. Petey Farreau, the offensive guard from Philadelphia. The Saints signed just at the end of last week. Has cramp and may not return, may return. A little mix-up in the backfield. Thompson hands off. Carter running wide right. Gets it to the 33 and maybe even to the 35-yard line. Haynes and Harding combining to make the hit. The H&H Hit Boys making the tackle at about the 30. Well, they gave him to the 36-yard line.
Sitting on the bench with Perot before the game, and he was remarking then how difficult it was for him to get his legs loose. He was having a cramp in his hamstring at that time, and apparently it still plagues him. 7 yards on the carry, brings up 3rd down and 3. Less than 6 minutes to play in the game. 14-10 Tampa Bay at their own 36-yard line. 3rd down 3, dropping to throw. Jack Thompson has time, fires, leaping effort, incomplete. Terry Hogue on the coverage. The ball was batted and bottled around by Gene Bratton. He just couldn't hold on to it, and Terry Hogue separated him from the pigskin. Incomplete. Frank Garcia called on to punt, and again it'll be number 42, the rookie out of LSU, Eric Martin, deep in punt formation. He will be the return man standing at the 23-yard line. Average of 42 yards a punt for Garcia tonight. Here's the punt. It's away. It's high. Spiral. It'll be taken by Martin at the 19, to the 20, the 25. Hits his own man and falls forward to the 29-yard line. Tried to get a block from James Haynes, but Haynes, in trying to make the block, really kind of caught a part of Eric Martin. The Saints will have it near the 30-yard line when we return with 5:31 to play in the game. A 46-yard punt, a timeout. Bucks 14, Saints 10. 1st and 10, ball at the 30-yard line, 5:31 to play in the game. Buccaneers 14, Saints 10. Saints ball, Bobby Hebert quarterback, eye backs. Dropping, play action pass. Hebert wants to throw and will get it away. Leaping effort, incomplete. Ball was batted up in the air. The man trying to catch it was Jeff Groth, and Pryor on the coverage almost intercepted as the ball deflected off of Jeff Groth on the sideline, and it may have been out of bounds anyway, but it's incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10. Harold Richardson's on the sideline along with Bum Phillips and making the signals for the play. Now, if he points to his eyes, it would mean I formation. If he points to another part of the body, it might mean split backfield. What happens when he holds his nose?
Well, on that play, I'm not quite sure. Maybe he means that the last play stunk. I'm not sure. Split backfield. 2nd and 10. Dropping straight back, Hebert. Good protection. Over the middle, complete. Tyrone Anthony out of the backfield. He's dropped right away after the catch at the 37-yard line. Not enough for a 1st down. Jeff Davis on the coverage and the tackle. Bobby Fowler, a good block for Hebert, and it'll bring up now 3rd down, short yardage. The Saints have converted 7 of 12 3rd downs tonight. The Buccaneers 7 of 13.
Bobby Fowler trying to stand his ground under the blitz of Hugh Green, and Green eventually just pushed him right back into Hebert, but Bobby gave a good account of himself.
8-yard pickup. It brings up 3rd down 2 at the 38. Key possession down for the Saints. Wideouts left and right. Handoff TA. Tyrone Anthony to the 40, to the 41. 1st down Saints. We see Moses here tonight. We see a number of fans wearing headsets, so we believe that they're listening to radio tonight, and we appreciate that. We hope that fans will do that during the season. Bring your radios to the stadium, but bring those headsets as well. Byron Braggs and Carl Morgan on the tackle. Saints' 17th 1st down of this ball game. At their own 41, Guido Merkins wide left. Saints will send Lindsey Scott wide right. Tight end Larry Hardy on the left side. Eye backs Fowler and Anthony. Play action. Hebert to throw. Airing it out deep. He wants to go for it all. Way downfield. Incomplete. Lindsey Scott had a step on the defensive back covering on that side. Jeremiah Castile, but it was overthrown.
He threw that ball 55 yards in the air.
It stretches the field out a bit when you can air it out that far, but it's incomplete, overthrown. Scott had him by about a step. So it brings up 2nd and 10. That's not much of a waste, really, to go on 1st down deep. I remember there were days when the fans would cheer a play like that, even though it went incomplete. 2nd and 10. Ball at the the 41. Split backfield. Hebert the quarterback. Wideouts left and right. Hebert straight back. Short drop. Now scrambling. Under pressure. Throwing to the sideline. And a great catch across midfield. Coming back for the ball. Tyrone Young says, yes, I've got the first down. And they agree at the 48-yard line of Tampa Bay. Give Young credit for making the catch with a really good coverage from Jeremiah Castillo.
He has the option to look short or long on that rollout. It looked like he initially wanted the screen pass on the flare type pass to Tyrone Anthony. When he saw that that was covered, he looked long, and the reception was made by Young across midfield down to the 47-yard line, an 11-yard pickup by Bobby Hebert to Tyrone Young.
For a moment there, it appeared Castillo would have a shot at picking it off and going right down the sideline, as he did once before against the Saints. First and 10, 48-yard line of Tampa Bay, 3:54 to play. Split backfield. Growth left, Scott right, dropping to throw. Hebert in trouble. He'll be sacked. He tries to throw, and the ball came loose. It'll be ruled a sack, I believe, and not an incompletion. He was back at the 42-yard line in the grasp of Hugh Green. And if that's the case, it'll be the third sack of the night for Tampa Bay.
Green just overpowered Bobby Fowler. We talked about that matchup once before. It's the fullback Fowler who has to block on Green when he blitzes. That time you got the better of the Louisiana Tech free agent. 3 sacks for Tampa Bay, all 3 in the second half. Saints have not scored in the second half after taking a 10-0 lead. The next 2 scores were Buccaneer touchdowns. A 10-yard loss. Second down, 20. Ball back at the Saints' 42-yard line. Hebert straight drop back. Firing and complete on a comeback route. Jeff Groth makes the catch at the Tampa Bay 45-yard line. Short of a first down, but that'll give the Saints a shot at it. John Holt on the coverage and the tackle. Number 21, they mark it back at the 46-yard line. Saints scouts, when they're looking at Hebert in the USFL, marveled about his ability to stand in there with people flying all around him and especially down around his knees. He stayed in the pocket very firmly. It's exactly what he showed there under the Tampa rush. He had his eye on Growth all the way for the reception.
A 12-yard pickup and third down 8. 2:43 to play. And the Saints will call a timeout as the clock was winding down. And the Saints will have to call a timeout as Hebert comes to the sideline. A break in the action. 2:43 to play in the game. And the score, Tampa Bay 14, New Orleans Saints 10. At the 46, third down 8, a big possession down for the Saints. And Bobby Hebert in motion left to right. Jeff Groth straight drop back. Hebert, big rush. He's got the blitz on. He's being chased on the run by Hugh Green. He fires a dying quail, and it goes incomplete, intended for Lindsey Scott, and almost picked off by John Holt. Oh, you can see Hugh Green zeroing in like a torpedo.
Yeah, Green just pins his ears back in third and long situations, and he was really coming. Chased Bobby from the backside all the way to in front of the Tampa Bay bench, and it looked like Green was lined up inside that time. They intend to move him around a little bit more this year rather than have him come from one spot. Bobby threw up a prayer that was not answered, so apparently the Saints will punt it away. There's 2:35 remaining.
And the Saints have 2 timeouts remaining, the Buccaneers 3. And the Saints are faced with fourth down and 8 at the 46-yard line. Saints are booing. Saints fans are booing. Brian Hansen in punt formation back at his own 39. The snap back, the kick is away. Angling toward the corner of the end zone. Bouncing at the 8. Touch? No, it was a touch. Brett Maxey could not gain possession, and the ball bounced into the end zone. It'll be a touchback and brought out to the 20-yard line. Brian had hoped to put a little bite on the ball and back it up like a wedge shot, but instead it hit and ran, a flyer, and he goes out of bounds, and the Buccaneers will have it at the 20-yard line. So with 2:25 to play, Tampa Bay had 13 players on the field during that play, and they're now discussing it. Here's Fred Silva. Illegal procedure. He has not yet commented on it yet, and the Saints could get the first down out of this. Well, that's actually it was 4th and 8. They couldn't get the first down. They might go for the first down. It would be 4th and 3.
Or at the very least, they can try again for the coffin corner on a punt. Fans want the Saints to go for it, and that's what they are going to do.
12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
And the Saints might go for it. Let's see what they're going to do. Bobby Hebert is talking on the sideline. The Saints will go for it.
Yeah, they're going for it.
It'll be 4th and 3. Those fans who are walking out of the stadium right now that missed all of this, hopefully we'll get to their automobiles and hear it on radio, but they're going to miss some action here. 4th down and 3. I'd like to mention that during the regular season, our halftime guests will be awarded watches from Oakland Heart Jewelers, one of our very fine sponsors, and we're looking forward to working with Tommy Oakland and Donnie Garrison and the gang at Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road again in 1985, and they've been one of our very fine sponsors and contributors to our halftime guests during the regular season. I didn't mention it in the 3rd quarter, and I should have. Wanted to mention it now. 4th down and 3 at the Bucs 41. Saints are going for it. Bobby Hebert sends Anthony in motion. Dropping straight back. Hebert wants to throw. Has time. Throws. Interception. 40, 45, 50. Hold on the run to the 40. And he'll go out of bounds, being forced by Bobby Hebert. A flag has been dropped back downfield. The intended receiver, Tyrone Young, is down. And the flag may nullify the interception because they're bringing it back downfield. Oh, what a play this could be. First, you've got Young injured. That's the most important thing in preseason. You hope that it is not serious. Each team has had 40 yards in penalties before this one. But now the Saints have a chance to win a game, which is really meaningless in preseason. And you hope that you don't lose a player of Tyrone Young's capability just to win a ball game here that doesn't count for anything. But at least it brings the fans to their feet and excitement in the stadium that they might get possession back.
Tyrone's had some problems with a knee injury during training camp, and that's what they're looking at, his right knee. If that call goes against the Buccaneers for interference, Young, the receiver, being interfered with, that'll be the latest flag I have ever seen thrown. That play was entirely over. Holt had already run it back and was chased out of bounds. Young was lying on the turf when the official ran over and threw the flag at him.
I hope the fans don't expect too much too soon from Bobby Hebert. It looks like they're going to rule in favor of the Buccaneers' interception, but the flag may have occurred after the pickoff. Fred Silva will tell us all about it. Stan Brock is not happy at all about it, and he's talking it over, and then Silva will tell us what took place. Bobby Hebert has a lot to learn about NFL defenses, a lot to learn about the Saints offense. He's got to unlearn a 3-year stint in the USFL and relearn a new offensive scheme. And you can't expect the miracles overnight, and that's certainly going to take some time for the young quarterback to develop with the Saints. Now the interception holds. They brought the ball all the way down to the 37-yard line. And Tyrone Young was helped from the field. He's walking, but he's not walking with full pressure on both legs. And Fred Silva did not explain the situation. The flag was never explained. The interception holds. So John Holt gets the pickoff. That's the second interception of the game. First for Tampa Bay. The Saints had one earlier. Alan Risher is now at quarterback for Tampa Bay, number 7 from Salomon High School in LSU. Risher is 12 of 20 in the preseason, and he calls timeout because there's too much noise in the stadium. And he has called timeout with 2:16 to play in this ball game, and Risher will go to the side.
You know, I've been
never explained by referee Fred Silva.
1st and 10 on the Saints' 37-yard line when action is resumed with 2:16 to play. The USFL, Risher threw at least one touchdown pass in each of his first 10 starts. That was back in '83, and he had several 300-yard passing games. And then two teams merged. If you remember, the Chicago Blitz and the Arizona Wranglers merged, and that put him on the bench because they brought in Greg Landry, the veteran quarterback. And, of course, George Allen making the switch with everybody. He certainly liked the older, more experienced players. And Risher was delegated to the bench, even though he had a very good rookie year. 2:16 to play. 14-10 Tampa Bay. 1st and 10 at the Saints 37. Risher with a pitch out. Carver with the ball to the 35-yard line. He picks up a couple of hard-earned yards, running wide to the right and turning it upfield.
Saints will take a timeout so that they'll get another stoppage of play with the 2-minute warning. There's 2:08 remaining in the half. They'll take the timeout here. They'll have one left, and then they'll get the stoppage of play at another 8 seconds.
Alan Risher, a very fine young man out of LSU who went on to the USFL, and I think he surprised a lot of people with that fine rookie year, Jim. I don't think he was highly rated by the NFL scouts, but he showed that next week we'll be live on radio and television from San Diego, and we're looking forward to that one. The final preseason game of 1985, and a chance to showcase this team before the regular season gets underway. Second down 3. I'll make it second down 8. Pitch out goes to Carver, running wide left, and he gets it inside the 35 to the 37-yard line. And that should get it down to the 2-minute warning, and will. 2 minutes to play in the game. A break in the action, a timeout to score. Bucks 14, Saints 10. In motion goes Branton, right to left. Quarterback is Risher, drops the throw, looks out of the backfield, gets Carver to the 33, 30, breaking the tackle of Scotty Pallur and getting just short of a first down to the 27-yard line, and that's going to be a real big decision for the Bucks, who own a 4-point lead. They could get the 3 and lead by 7, or they could try to go for the first down. They'll be about a yard short. And the Saints have taken their last time out. I'm surprised they've taken it here, but they want all the time they can get and go to the
first possession of this half when DeBerg was the quarterback, and then Thompson came on. Now he's been replaced by Risher.
4th down, less than a yard to go for a first down, about a foot to go. Everybody in tight. Buccaneers are going to go for it. Quarterback is Risher. Handoff straight ahead, and enough for the first down to the 25-yard line is Carver. Melvin Carver, a 225-pound running back out of Nevada, Las Vegas, who's had some good games against the Saints, and that first down brings about, I'd say, 10, 15, maybe 20,000 fans to their feet and heading for the exits. With a minute 25 to go, the Saints cannot stop the clock. The Bucks will use every second they can. And some tissue has been thrown from the upper deck down onto the playing field, and I'm sure that I would think the referee would gather it up quickly, but will not. A minute 10 to go. 1st and 10. The Bucks will run it straight ahead, I'm sure. Handoff is lost. Fumble. Derlin Moore got a hand on it. Let's see who came up with it. The Saints have recovered it at the 27-yard line. It looks like Jumpy Geathers came up with it, but Derlin Moore was the man who stripped it away, a 13-year veteran. The handoff to Carver was not handled cleanly, and the ball came loose, and it was Derlin Moore's feet and Jumpy Geathers' hands that cradled it in. What a turnaround quickly. Alan Risher handing to Carver. It was not a clean exchange. Oh, what a play. And that 20,000 had started for the exits. If they heard the moan, they probably came right back in.
Well, it'll make it interesting for the final minute and 2. Remember, the Saints have no timeouts. They'll have to run something along the sideline.
With a minute and 2 seconds remaining, Saints ball. Quarterback is Hebert, looking for a miracle. Dropping to throw, looking deep downfield, throwing, it's caught, bobbled, caught again. Lindsey Scott came down with it at the 47-yard line. First down, Castile and Brantley on the tackle. Saints in a hurry-up offense. They're getting to the line of scrimmage, and the running back, Tyrone Anthony, can't hear the signal. Now they're barking it out. 38 seconds. Dropping to throw Hebert. Out of the backfield, Anthony. 50-yard line, out of bounds in Buccaneer territory at the 48-yard line. Hugh Green on the tackle, but stopping the clock. That's the important thing. 33 seconds to go. No timeouts remaining.
And in the hurry-up offense, Bobby Hebert had to call his own plays, and he probably had to sort out, now let's see, is this a Saints play or an Oakland Invaders play or a Michigan Panthers play, or exactly what am I calling here? But he called the right one there. The swing pass to Anthony, who got out of bounds, and the Saints with a second down now in Tampa Bay territory at the 47.
A lot of people standing in the aisles waiting for this game to finish. 33 seconds remain. 2nd and 5. Hebert to throw. No timeouts left. Standing tall. Dancing around. Throwing. Intercepted again at the 25-yard line. To the 30, 35, 40. 45-yard line. Ivory Sully may have ended it now with a big interception. The second off of the right arm of Bobby Hebert. And the fans are heading now for the exits. And again, you can't expect miracles, but what would the fans have done had Bobby Hebert been able to pull this one out? A return of 21 yards. The second interception off of Bobby Hebert.
Bucks were only coming with about 3 people, and Hebert had a long time to look over the secondary. When he finally looked downfield, he looked in the direction of Larry Hardy, the tight end, but the ball was well overthrown, and Ivory Sully, the strong safety, picked it off.
First and 10, Bucks with 20 seconds to go. No way to stop them. All they got to do is fall on the ball, and this game will be history. And the Saints will drop another one in preseason. And that's all they're going to do. They're going to wind it up here with the just dropping on the ball, actually, and this game should be history. Well, the Saints almost had a shot at pulling it off. They had a miracle happen last week where they had a shot at it, and then again this week where they got a shot at it, but it just wasn't to be. And the Saints will drop this one 14-10. So the final score is 14-10 in the Louisiana Superdome. Larry Matson along with Jim Henderson. Hope you've enjoyed this final preseason game at home of 1985. Next week the Saints travel to San Diego, and again, I don't think you can expect too much too soon from Bobby Hebert, although 50,000 fans showed up here tonight hoping for miracles, I'm sure.
Yes, they did, and it almost looked like the script was written to provide one, but it was not to be after his second interception.
All right, that's going to wrap things up. The final score again was 14-10.
This is a WWL